What's up, everyone? It's Kaiserin, and we're back with some TEC High School Valorant. We just got back from an exciting Week 8 of Split, so before we head into this week's game, let's take a look at last week's matchups. Starting off with Division 1, we saw Greater Altoona CTC beat Bishop Guilfoyle 13-2, keeping the undefeated first place at 6-0 for the season. This marks Bishop Guilfoyle's second loss in a row, putting them in third at 4-2. Kratzer on that raise ended the game with 370 ACS and a KD of 3 at 21-7 with 5 first bloods, the second week in a row with those stats. Franklin Regional shut down Penn Trafford 13-2 last Monday. That win puts Franklin Regional in 4th place at 4-2 for the season. Gouda on that raise with 385 ACS and 7 first bloods led that team to victory with 22, 7, and 3 stats overall. Forest Hills takes a close victory against Richland High School 13-11. This win put Forest Hills at 5-1, making them second overall for the season so far. Skip stood out on that jet with 5 first bloods and 26 kills. Boyertown High School versus West Branch area ended with a 13-8 Boyertown victory. That's a big win for Boyertown, giving them 2-3 overall for the season, with West Branch yet to win a single game. Boyertown's A Bag of Skittles ended the game with 424 ACS, 29 kills, and 5 first bloods. Heading into D2, we saw Albert Gallatin take Greater Johnstown 13-5. Both teams sit at 3-2 for the season right now, but Greater Johnstown, despite this loss, sit just ahead of Albert Gallatin, ahead in round differential. Kaysen on that raise for Albert Gallatin had an absolutely phenomenal game, ending with 48 kills and only 10 deaths and 7 first bloods and 5 aces to boot. However, Greater Johnstown Zaveru had a great game as well, ending 33-12 with 8 first bloods. Unfortunately for Zaveru, that wasn't enough to bring Greater Johnstown to victory this week. Greater Altoona CTC beat Hollidaysburg area 13-9 in an important matchup for seeding. CTC currently sit in 4th for the season at 3-2, with Hollidaysburg at 2-3 for the season and in 7th place. Pingusi led the team as a battle sage with 6 first bloods, 21 kills, and 4 assists. Franklin Regional Senior High School shut down Portage Area School District 13-0 to keep the undefeated streak going, staying number 1 at 6-0 for the season. Mitch on that Reina ended 35-2 for a 6 KD and 6 first bloods. Richland versus Chartiers Houston also ended in a 13-0 shutout, with Richland coming out on top, meaning they're also undefeated right now, sitting in 2nd place at 5-0 for the season. Richland's team comp was interesting. We got to see some new agents come out like Swish on that Clove, but it was OG Mudbone on ISO who went 17, 6, and 2 with 4 first bloods that led their team to victory. Now that we've seen last week's journey, let's take a look at our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. We had quite a week in Division 2. Let's check out those Power 5 rankings. Here's our overall D1 Valorant standings after last week. And here's a peek at our Division 2 standings before we head into Sunset this week. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week for D1 Valorant. I got my eye on Greater Altoona CTC versus Forest Hills. These teams are battling it out for those first 2 spots. Will Forest Hills finally be able to end CTC's win streak, or will CTC continue to come out on top? Here's this week's Division 2 schedule. The matchup between Richland and Blackland Valley is going to be an important one to pay attention to. These teams are currently 2nd and 3rd in the standings. If Richland win and remain undefeated, they have a chance to battle it out for that first place spot. If Blacklick Valley can win here, they can hold on to their 3rd place position, since 4 teams currently hold that 3-2 scoreline. Well, it's about time for us to head into Sunset for some Week 9 action. Good luck to all of our players today, and don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action. And of course, tune back in on any of our Twitch channels the rest of this week for more great games. Until next time, I'm Kaiserin. Catch you all next week. What's up, everyone? It's Kaiserin, and we're back with some TEC High School Valorant. We just got back from an exciting Week 8 of Split, so before we head into this week's game, let's take a look at last week's matchups. Starting off with Division 1, we saw Greater Altoona CTC beat Bishop Guilfoyle 13-2, keeping the undefeated first place at 6-0 for the season. This marks Bishop Guilfoyle's 2nd loss in a row, putting them in 3rd at 4-2. Kratzer on that raise ended the game with 370 ACS and a KD of 3 at 21-7 with 5 first bloods, the 2nd week in a row with those stats. Franklin Regional shut down Penn Trafford 13-2 last Monday. That win puts Franklin Regional in 4th place at 4-2 for the season. Gouda on that raise with 385 ACS and 7 first bloods led that team to victory with 22, 7, and 3 stats overall. Forest Hills takes a close victory against Richland High School 13-11. This win put Forest Hills at 5-1, making them 2nd overall for the season so far. Skip stood out on that jet with 5 first bloods and 26 kills. Boyertown High School versus West Branch area ended with a 13-8 Boyertown victory. That's a big win for Boyertown, giving them 2-3 overall for the season, with West Branch yet to win a single game. Boyertown's A Bag of Skittles ended the game with 424 ACS, 29 kills, and 5 first bloods. Heading into D2, we saw Albert Gallatin take Greater Johnstown 13-5. Both teams sit at 3-2 for the season right now, but Greater Johnstown, despite this loss, sit just ahead of Albert Gallatin, ahead in round differential. Kaysen on that raise for Albert Gallatin had an absolutely phenomenal game, ending with 48 kills and only 10 deaths and 7 first bloods and 5 aces to boot. However, Greater Johnstown Zaveru had a great game as well, ending 33-12 with 8 first bloods. Unfortunately for Zaveru, that wasn't enough to bring Greater Johnstown to victory this week. Greater Altoona CTC beat Hollidaysburg area 13-9 in an important matchup for seeding. CTC currently sit in 4th for the season at 3-2, with Hollidaysburg at 2-3 for the season and in 7th place. Pingusi led the team as a battle sage with 6 first bloods, 21 kills, and 4 assists. Franklin Regional Senior High School shut down Portage Area School District 13-0 to keep the undefeated streak going, staying number 1 at 6-0 for the season. Mitch on that Reina ended 35-2 for a 6 KD and 6 first bloods. Richland versus Chartiers Houston also ended in a 13-0 shutout, with Richland coming out on top, meaning they're also undefeated right now, sitting in 2nd place at 5-0 for the season. Richland's team comp was interesting. We got to see some new agents come out like Swish on that Clove, but it was OG Mudbone on ISO who went 17-6-2 with 4 first bloods that led their team to victory. Now that we've seen last week's journey, let's take a look at our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. We had quite a week in Division 2. Let's check out those Power 5 rankings. Here's our overall D1 Valorant standings after last week. And here's a peek at our Division 2 standings before we head into Sunset this week. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week for D1 Valorant. I got my eye on Greater Altoona CTC versus Forest Hills. These teams are battling it out for those first two spots. Will Forest Hills finally be able to end CTC's win streak, or will CTC continue to come out on top? Here's this week's Division 2 schedule. The matchup between Richland and Blackland Valley is going to be an important one to pay attention to. These teams are currently second and third in the standings. If Richland win and remain undefeated, they have a chance to battle it out for that first place spot. If Blackland Valley can win here, they can hold on to their third place position, since 4 teams currently hold that 3-2 scoreline. Well, it's about time for us to head into Sunset for some Week 9 action. Good luck to all of our players today, and don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action. And of course, tune back in on any of our Twitch channels.
Welcome everybody to the TEC High School Series here for week number 9 of our regular season action, the final week before we get into those playoffs. Of course, my name is Llama77, joined as always by the man with a fantastic mustache. It's my boy Hot Sauce. Hot Sauce, how you doing today?
Excited to get this final week wrapped up. Really excited for these playoffs, but still one more week to go as we settle in for week 9 of Valorant here. This first one's going to be a banger as well. Bishop Guilfoyle taking on Franklin Regional. Both of these teams 4-2. Bishop Guilfoyle was on a crazy tear throughout the regular season, looking like they were going to give Greater Altoona a run for their money. Unfortunately, had to play a member down. These last few weeks, they've been without Kadith as well. This week, picking up a new player, VMA. And again, Franklin Regional, another new school in the mix. We haven't got to personally see on stream yet, Llama, but they've had a great first season run thus far. So really excited to see what they can do against this powerful Bishop Guilfoyle team.
I'm really excited. You mentioned how both these teams coming into this one 4-2. If they're able to pick up the victory here today, you know, Forest Hills is sitting just 1 win above them. So they could possibly steal away that number 2 overall seed in playoffs, possibly avoiding the GOATs of Greater Altoona. You also talk about this Franklin Regional squad. Although they're new, they got Professor Gouda, one of the 3 players currently over 100 total kills in the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's an insane feat on its own, and especially to do that, like I said, in your first season here for TEC as well. So I can't wait to see Professor Gouda in action, mainly because they also on that raise, which we love to see. Going to be on Sunset here today, a map that I've grown to love personally. Mid control can be absolutely crucial, not as much in the first few rounds as a typically 5-man will see toward A here happening in round 1.
Just around starting us off, and like you mentioned, that 5-man going to start us towards A. VMA, though, holding on to this flash and waiting and walking into a firing squad, unfortunately, is going to be Nuts able to pick up that first kill. Unfortunately, though, it is a trade on back, so only 3 players alive on the defensive side. The collapse is coming through, but the pinch is just a little bit too slow. Kagoya is watching for that flank, has the camera ready to go as well. So much vision to play with. That spike is already down as well.
Yeah, next is going to find the trade. You talked about Forest Hills being that number 2 team with only 1 loss, but their loss comes from Franklin Regional. So, you know, kind of an interesting fact there as we see Franklin Regional putting in work here. In round number 1, Professor Gouda will wrap up the final kill here, and round 1 will go to Franklin Regional.
Feels good on the attacking side here of Sunset, which, you know, like you said, it's got mid-control, it's got some craziness about it, but it is a 2-site map at the end of the day, which we usually give a little bit more towards that defender side. But for our offense here of the Franklin Regional squad, they'll be able to purchase a little bit of nice little SMGs for the second round.
Yeah, I mean, Cypher's so good on Sunset, especially on that B site as well. And I feel like if you want to take good control of B, it's best to push through mid, grab that mid control, or have a fade or somebody that can help destroy those traps or trigger those traps pressuring in. But we do see that's Eclipse tucked with the shorty, one of my favorite things right here. We might get a little treat here, but they are going to be slowed down just a bit by these smokes and the utility.
Smoke's gonna push him away, but going through the smoke, Eclipse looks for more, doesn't find it. Professor Gouda back in mid and actually taken down. So a good trade is there. Nexka kind of tucked away and got the patience to pick up one, is pressuring out with the classic and looking for even more. The headshot will come on through from T-Stray Spicy, and it gives them a 3v2 player advantage. However, seeing the Cypher, seeing his dome, and seeing his nice little hat peeking out behind the box there, they will go to the A site.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to watch T-Stray Spicy play as well. Another one of those very talented Rocket League players that we've seen a plethora of times on stream as well. So a nice little treat here to see them in some Valorant action. Cresticle will find the plant onto the A side of 3v2 at the moment. Spotted here at mid from the cam, and Omen tucked in a very cheeky spot. Can hear the audio intel as well. We'll find the swing, the spray, and Stray Spicy coming up hot, able to find one. Knows the other one is lurking here as well. Has some help from Cresticle, and the SMGs will come up top.
One more. Done here.
A bit dangerous there at the end of the day, but Franklin Regional able to pull out the victory here in their bonus round. Of course, this sort gets a little bit awkward in terms of the regular flow of Valorant. Bishop Guilfoyle should be able to buy some rifles here in this next one. And honestly, that round, Hot Sauce, if VMA picking up that SMG is able to get a couple picks, that's an entirely different story.
Absolutely. You know, and I was kind of looking back here for those stats for the Forest Hills game, where it is Forest Hills only lost to Franklin Regional 13-3. But looking back, it looks like maybe, unless a member wasn't put on the roster, Forest Hills might have been playing a member down, or it's just not showing on the roster. But a dominating performance by Franklin Regional. Looking to see if they can carry that forward. Their only losses, I think, was from Penn Trafford, but I'm not sure. I'll have to double check on that one here at the Marshall. Out at mid, looking for a little bit of intel and being patient once more. We can hear the Gecko utility coming in as well, but a little bit of default action here from both teams.
Like the patience. Marshall shots ringing down through mid, and pre-JKS on the defense. We talked about these bonus rifles going to be feeling good to pick up two big starters, but through mid is where this pressure is going to go. With Gecko still here, though, it's so tough to push, and all of that utility is still pressuring on that B site. It is a 3K. Eclipse going to steal away the ace, but with pre-JK on low HP, they're going to push their way on forward, getting that overheal from the ability, and now walking their way on in. We'll have to walk through possibly a smoke here, and Cresticle able to take advantage of one. Low health bars on the other side as the second is picked on through. Next got trapped between a rock and a hard place. Nice swing together, as will be a battle back for Bishop Guilfoyle.
Yeah, and a round that they definitely needed, right? That full buy round, always important, especially going against the bonus. You don't want to give your opponents an extra leg up on you. So Bishop Guilfoyle needing to clutch up that round. They do just that. And without losing too many members as well. We'll see a full set of rifles here still nearly for everybody but pre-JK. Of course, full rifles on the other side of things. So really our near first full rifle round. Cresticle already 5-1 on the other side of things.
Cresticle feeling good. Pre-JK with that triple in that round, though. Talk about ultimates. Cresticle is going to have this Thrasher already clearing on through a lot of this A area. And Thrasher isn't going to get any value, but a possible re-pickup is there. I was going to talk about ultimate specifically because pre-JKS has the ultimate built up for themselves because of that big pick in the last game and the death. They're able to do it, and they're stacking heavily on the correct site.
Yeah, the Roomba looking for a little bit of intel of their own, but Phoenix tucked in there will be able to avoid it. The smoke's at the back of the site. Pre-J waiting patiently. Thrasher coming in, looking for the intel. The blind is there. Gouda able to capitalize on one. Trying to keep an eye on the back of the site. One lurking around short here as well. Being patient is Gouda. Now with the swing, has to go through two. Finds the spray, but gets traded out by Paste. Cresticle able to find 1-2 now. Paste pressuring in. Still keeping calm, keeping the poise as the spike has gone down at this point. Stray Spicy at the back. And now Gecko finding some intel here as well. They know Paste is at the short side. Rushing in from the back is Pre-J. And Paste gets another just like that. They turn it around.
Gotta see the body from behind as well. Huge ultimate. We are predicting it from the start of the round. Nice and not dead yet. Free JKS brings themselves back into the fight. And with the Sheriff, gets the job done. And it means no Thrasher here for the next round as well for this Franklin Regional squad.
Yeah, you know, and looking back, it does look like Franklin Regional's 2 losses came from both Greater Altoona and Winburg. So those 2 juggernauts that we're used to, but that was early in the season within those first 4 games for both of those teams. So you know how it can be tough in your first season. Franklin Regional certainly has been performing very, very well throughout the regular season. Now, one final game to get a little bit closer to that nice top seed up there in the playoff position.
Like we said, for both these 2 teams, you win this game, you put yourself at 5-2, and Eclipse is already starting by winning this round. Gets themselves an op, gets the pressure through mid, and now the decision is so tough here for Franklin Regional. You hear the noise from VMA, you hear all these picks coming through, and the collapse is in. It's going to be the Sheriff, at least from Professor Judah, to take one down in eco round. Not exactly what you would have wanted, and this operator, the perfect thing to shut it down. Eclipse, a double for themselves, and they aren't missing today.
Beautiful skin here as well, and we'll continue to pepper through the smoke and the box. Always just looking for a little extra action. I always enjoy when people spray through boxes and smokes. You never know when you come up with that surprise kill. Unfortunately, all that action lingering toward A, and somehow KO able to make their way through the site, past these trips as well, and into a cheeky position. Nuts now lurking toward market, has an opportunity for this flank in between. Has heard the footsteps as well. In a top position. Nuts will pop the dome, send him home. Spots one more coming from that spawn. That's Eclipse with the op. 2 more ring out. Unable to hit the mark just yet. Now in a 2v3.
So 3v2. Pre-JK needs to win this duel. The Sheriff is lined up, but the headshot is there. Nice shutdown. How well can you play it, Gouda? We've been talking good things about you. That operator is going to be so tough to push through. 33 HP, and VMA through the smoke has got their number. The defuse will be there. This was an eco round, and losing 2 players, not the most ideal scenario, but that op was putting in work.
Yeah, Eclipse was going nuts with that op at mid, finding a couple big picks to give him that initial player advantage as well, and now an important round goes to them. 3 ults on the both side of things here, especially that showstopper. We've seen it at least for a round or 2 now, so would like to see that come out here relatively soon. They have the neuro theft for the intel, much like the opposition does as well.
A lot of intel going to be there. A lot of ultimates on board here as we hop into round number 6. The eco in the last round will give Franklin Regional some more money to play with. However, got to imagine, where is that operator lurking? The cam is going to see at least 2. Looks like 3 there. And ultimate going to be popped. They're going to try and go quick. Throwing in the Dizzy, throwing in this utility, and catching out Paste. It's a huge pick. However, the rotation is there just so quick as well. Pre-JK lighting up the scoreboard like they have been. 3 ultimate orbs away from getting their ultimate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's tough to press through those smokes without a blind. We see them trying to do that, trying to get control of the back of the site. But Pre-J, good job remaining patient, finding the pick. Thrasher coming in the counter way. Now tucker to the corner. Pre-JKS able to find one more as they continue that pressure. The showstopper will come out, able to collect Pre-JK. And with that, the paint shells looking to buy some more time, keep him away from that spike. Has the satchel charge as well, and doing a great job of just buying some time. Neska finds one. They hear the cue of the spike. Is it enough? And he gets him in the background. Gouda somehow finds the pick, but it's already halfway. And with that, the rest of the defusal will come in.
That was a close one. Nice edge for sure, and only 1 player surviving there at the end. Gouda, just a stray bullet connecting on that spike diffuser, and they did a lot of damage there. Economy's not really safe from either side, but it's going to be another pretty much full rifle round from both of these 2 teams. VMA will be able to buy up as well, and Eclipse back with that operator. Ultimates, though, like we talked about, Hot Sauce, it's going to be possibly 4 if Pre-JKS can get 1 singular pick. That Clove ultimate is so huge in those team fights.
Yeah, you know, and after they've gotten that rifle round, they haven't slowed down at all. Now 4 in a row, and having to deal with Eclipse on this op Can be a tough position. to see him at the top of mid, lurking around, but it's Cresticle with a beautiful shot into market, finding the first pick. Lurking around that smoke at the top of the mid. They'll hear the door shut as well. Great mid control here coming in. Now the pressure as well. If they can find an early pick on Cypher, eliminate the traps, and Gouda does it. Free JK on the trade. Will pop the ult and get back on their feet here as well. Now in a 4v3.
4v3. Ultimate already used from the Clove. We'll see what utility they have left because the location is going to be known. They are fully investing. Run it back. Gets no value, but free JKS theirs does. Little buddy gonna recognize that there's a player back behind. Information gained, but pre-JKS, headshot gained, triple, knives get another. Back to a 2v1, and Cresticle, not the most HP to work with. Defuse just in time, and now back-to-back big Clove ultimates, and we're only halfway through the first half.
Only halfway through the first half, and right now, I mean, we saw, Franklin come out with a nice, solid start, but it's been all Bishop Guilfoyle here at the middle of this game, and we've seen some full buys from Franklin Regional, unfortunately just not able to capitalize. Storming into the site there looked very, very well, but somehow doesn't come away with that one even after finding these first initial picks. Pre-JKS, 12-6 at the moment.
12-6. Already 2 of those not dead yet ultimates used, and possibly going to build themselves up a third to use in this first half. However, it's going to be a little bit of a switch up. We're going to A this time. Thrasher backup available, and that's how we're going to start out the round. You see the players on defense here don't want to get detained, so they're pushing back, but that Thrasher is grabbable again. More space going to be able to be clear. This Marshall back through mid doesn't connect, and Nexka able to get the early trade, but there is pressure all the way through A. Defense has to be careful, but pre-JKS cuts down their escape route.
Yeah, pre-JKS has been absolutely on fire. Eclipse with a shorty, though, making it happen. Cap and Paste will find the swing, and Gouda will be sliced in half. Cresticle finds the trade onto Eclipse, so there's Nexka to wrap it up yet again. 3 members still up 6-2, and Bishop Guilfoyle really starting to fall into that gameplay.
Finding the groove. I gotta say, it's really, really smart as well from Bishop Guilfoyle. The backup, the space they're giving themselves. They're saying, okay, you can take elbow, that's okay. As long as you don't have A main control, we cut off your escape, we get these flanked, we don't allow any of the pressure through mid, and then we can collapse just as good. So it might be another A play here for the Franklin Regional Panthers, but they need to start winning this round here soon. They're running out of money in rounds.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they have those loss bonuses to help them out, but still just not a position that you want to be in at the moment. And they've had good pushes onto sites. They've had 5-man pushes. They find those initial picks, but the retakes have just been on point thus far from Bishop Guilfoyle. Cresticle on that pre-fire. And because of all this noise, but that slow pace, we can see that early rotation from the mini-map there. Bishop Guilfoyle all rotating every member over here and sending one through mid, so they know they're not going back the other direction, and it's Pre-J and VMA. Tag team back again. Whoop! There it is. Kaguya, though, will find the trade.
Player standing.
The trade is there, but at this point, it doesn't matter. The flank is perfect. The shutdown once again, and we'll give you elbow, but we'll cut off the rest. Next guy able to take the headshot there, and it's a 4-0 there at the end. 7 rounds in a row here for the Bishop Guilfoyle squad. Of course, yes, this is a map that is a little bit more defender-sided because it is 2 sides, but you would like to see Franklin Regional pick up a couple more rounds here towards the end. It looks like we've got a timeout here, and I love this call. I gotta say, this is the point I feel like where you really need to talk it out.
Yeah, I mean, you got to talk over some strategies here, find out what is not working, where it's kind of falling apart for the crew, and what is working, and see if they can find ways to kind of utilize that together. Make sure they're executing on that site, finding that utility, make sure that they're holding those off angles, crosshair placement, just some of those basic fundamentals. I mean, a lot of these rounds have been very close, but it's just that Bishop Guilfoyle is finding a way to sneak them out, finding a way on those retakes to come out on top. So, hopefully they can kind of discuss what hasn't been working. And, if they can grab these last few rounds here before halftime, it's still a feasible game for them.
It definitely is, yeah. Like we said, it's more defender-sided here, so we'll have to see if they can flip the script on that other side. However, I would also like to say that just credit to Bishop Guilfoyle. Every single one of these retakes, like you said, has been really, really good. I'd say maybe the B ones have been a little bit slower. They get a little bit more dangerous when you can just hide behind, plant for that kind of spawn area. But, you know, every single A push, it's been cut down, whether that be a flank through spawn, pressure through mid, it has all been there. So we'll have to see if it can be turned around. At the same time, pre-JKS is once again getting closer and closer to this ultimate, one away from having another not dead yet. That would be the third one hot sauce in one half.
The third and one half. Here we go. We got the statistics, the maths, the fractions. We got it all over here. Llama, the big brain, giving it to us. Still 7-2 as we are waiting again for that technical difficulty. I think we maybe lost a player there. Oh, it looks like in chat the mouse stopped working. So you know, some technical difficulties to iron out, but you certainly need a mouse. I'd say that's a very crucial part of this game.
Yeah, I mean, whether that be a mouse to actually aim with, or maybe it's like an emotional support mouse, that it's like their team mascot to get them right back into the game. It's maybe their coach that's giving them all the secret information. But, I mean, you need all the information you can get, like you said, Hot Sauce. This matchup, like we said, both teams 4-2, they have locked playoffs. If you hit the 4-win marker, you are for sure in, especially with only 10 teams in Valorant Division 1. But if you win this one, like we said, for either of these two teams, you could jump Forest Hills if they lose later today.
Yeah, and again, Forest Hills is a team that they beat already in the regular season. So not only would that round differential be much closer if Forest Hills loses today, but the fact that they have also beat them in the regular season might give them that little advantage in that playoff seed as we head a little bit forward. But can't get too far ahead of ourselves. They still have to get through this game today. They've been playing very well throughout the regular season, but Bishop Guilfoyle, after you know, dominating throughout their regular season as well, is coming off of 2 losses. You know, kind of based around not having their full roster. But now VMA has stepped up, has certainly filled the role very nicely here. A couple picks, a couple assists, finding those blinds, entering into the site for the crew and making things happen. But it does look like the mouse is back working. The pre-round timer will expire and round 10 will be in front of us.
Round number 10. This is an important one, to say the least. Like we said here, every single round at this point for Franklin Regional towards the end is huge. And it's a half eco. You got 1 hero rifle. You got some shields here or there. And once again, it's elbow control given up. The difference this time, though, is main control is there too for Franklin Regional. This is a good walk into the site. If they could get the plant down fast, it's all up to the retake of Bishop Guilfoyle.
Yeah, I liked how much quicker they got onto the site this time. They had those smokes to kind of keep them at bay. We see Thrasher coming in. Gouda getting up to a safe spot. Paste able to find Nuts now. 3 on the backside. The showstopper coming out could be absolutely huge, but only gets 1. Somehow Gouda will find the trade. Next, go back and forth. But now in a 3v1, the showstopper, a perfect position. Unfortunately, it just doesn't connect as well as they would like it to. And only finding 1 now on the hunt. They know he's somewhere, but Stray Spicy with a spicy shot from the Sheriff. Unfortunately, not quite enough. Bishop Guilfoyle now up 8-2.
Kind of an expected round win there from Bishop Guilfoyle. They did lose 3 players, so the economy good on a couple of players, but starting to get a little bit low. You talk about those loss bonuses. It should be full rifles, full shields for every single member of Franklin Regional. That showstopper, though, was very close to picking up a triple kill, and that could have been a top 5 play of the week. But we'll head into round number 11 again. Only 2 rounds left in the half, and Pre-JKS has their ultimate again.
Yeah, you know, and I think if that showstopper went down just a little bit more, would have found at least 2 picks, which could have been huge. Unfortunately, that is the luck sometimes of Valorant. In a good position, VMA waiting patiently. The trigger discipline displayed, and the double kill comes up absolutely huge. We saw an initial pick on Eclipse there near mid as well. Now on a 3v3 though. You see that run it back coming out. VMA with the flash, unfortunately does get himself, has a second flash. The spike's still down here. Now with the screen up in front, we'll have to step through. Able to sneak by, but Gouda finds the pick and sends him back on the run it back.
That was a good patience play. Wait for that ultimate, but VMA does have that second life. He's got the look, but it's through the wall. Exactly. Professor Gouda got the headshot. Like we said, one of 3 players with over 100 kills in the TEC Division 1 Valorant. They've got information as well, and it's pick your poison, right? Do you want to go through these Cypher traps, or do you want to start to go through A and give that retake potential? It looks like, though, they don't want to deal with any of that Cypher utility. They're going to run their way over to the A site.
Yeah, I mean, they know at least Cypher's there. They could maybe expect that they're playing together plus the trap. So a smart decision to just rotate and rotate quickly. They had the Omen ult to get into the back of the site and make sure that nobody was there as well. So now having control of the site, both coming from spawn. The smoke is there, but pre-JKS through the smoke, Kaguya goes down. And pre-J says, Kabuya, baby, looking good. Has to go the other way, looking to split the opposition here, though. Now in a 1-1 split, but Cypher coming back the other direction, waiting for that smoke to dissipate. Guda on the other side, finds the spray, snaps the head. Poste gets one. The ult from pre-J. Is it enough, though? Able to come back now in a 1v1 with Stray Spicy.
Stray is running, getting back to safety here in elbow. It's got to be the defuse. And it looks like it's just going to go for the 1v1 duel, delaying for time, and it will be expiring on the end of it. Beautiful final play from T-Stray Spicy to escape there. But pre-JKS almost did it to him. Almost did it to him with the ultimate again.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a smart decision by Omen there. You know, you heard the not dead yet popped. And so to fall back, making sure that they can't find an assist or a kill. Not enough time for the defusal. So with that ult expiring, Clove falls to the wayside. And again, just a smart decision, you know, by Omen, by Stray Spicy to capitalize and make sure they get that round. They're going to need this last one as well. If they can find a way to muster up this last round here, excuse me, round 12, then it'll give them a good fighting spot going into that next one. Of course, that pistol round will be equally as crucial.
This round is going to be good, but this positioning in market has got to be even better for Nexka. Going to get paranoid, and it's going to be right in their face. Professor Guda, we're going quick. How about a double headshots and double picks? How about 3? Already the positioning falling apart on the B-side defense. However, still 2. This is VMA, and this is pre-JKS. 2 players that we've seen clutch up here before. The Operator going to be in the hands. VMA is going to look here first, and we'll get first. So 33 HP, does have the healing as Phoenix, and now you can approach from this pincer, but have to be careful of time.
Still has the wall and a blind on deck as well. Pressuring through, there's none. Swaps to the shorty, and pre-J, and good positioning. Timing will fall in their favor. The flash able to step out, has the smoke as they've lurked around toward the back of the site. The firewall will go up as well. Stray Spicy looking to hold it, finds one, a big clutch. Now steps through, and Spicy looking spicy and hot as he finds the 2-piece, the clutch as well, and an absolute huge round for Spicy and Franklin Regional.
I do love the shorty play from pre-JKS, just hovering behind their opponent there in market. But yeah, what a spray transfer. Panthers pull themselves to 4 rounds on that first half. And honestly, Hot Sauce, for how much doom and gloom we were talking about, that's a pretty good ending for your offensive side. If you can start picking up some rounds, especially this pistol one here on defense, you could be off to a possible map win.
Yeah, I mean, winning the pistol round should ensure the next one, making it 6-8 within 2. Of course, that third round is up for grabs, but if they take that, they take the following one, and just like that, things are tied back up. So, you know, just have to play smart here. Have to, you know, make sure that they're working together. Have to win these gun battles. All those important things coming into play here in round 1. Is Cresticle able to find one? Eclipse does get the trade. The pressure continues to flow into B, but unfortunately, they kind of forgot the spike there at mid.
Playing a little bit too default, leaves it behind. Professor Guda leaving no bodies behind. It's a headshot for them, a 4v3 situation created. But for Poste, it's just trying to push on through 4. This Cage is going to pick up the kill. Kaguya able to pick up the headshot. And like we said, this is a round the Panthers need to pick up. The spike carrier going to drop. That is going to be all she wrote for the round. So the speed was good to start, but like you mentioned, just playing a little bit too default left that spike as a killer.
Left the spike as the killer. Yeah, I forget who that was who got picked off initially through mid there, but as they were making that fast push. But I like to see the ebb and flow that they have here. We've seen some slow rounds. We've seen some fast rounds. But again, we needed Bishop Guilfoyle to win that pistol round if they wanted a solid fighting chance. They do just that. If Kaguya will get set up on the B site here. It does look like the spike and crew are lingering outside B at the moment, but potentially a split push through mid here.
Love to see some mid control. Just don't rush it. Take your time. You don't have the better weaponry if you are Bishop Guilfoyle, but you do have an opportunity to close things out. Cage for Kaguya going to be placed in the back of the site here as nice slow round to start. Like we said, for Franklin Regional, if you can win this game, you have such a good round differential, but VMA taken down to 34, and the collapse from mid. Nuts gets the headshot. I love that mid-top collapsing point, but it's going to be giving up elbow control. There's nobody really here actually on A to try and defend this.
Yeah, I think because of that pressure through market and all that noise, they thought potentially back to B, but a good job here, a good distraction by Franklin Regional, but next cut into the back of the site. Stray spicy though, they have the weapons. Franklin Regional up on top, but it's Eclipse. Paste finding big picks. Gouda gets one in the other direction. Looking for the defusal here, lurking about is Jet, but Crestical able to find the pick onto Eclipse, and just like that, a huge round win here for Bishop Guilford, or for Franklin Regional, excuse me.
Back to back, like you said, 6-8. As expected, if you win that pistol, you win the one right after. And for Franklin Regional, to win 100% of pistols here in this map, it's absolutely huge. It brings up your win percentage, I think like 30-something% if you're able to pick up both of those pistols. So absolutely huge so far. They won't have the greatest weaponry against the full rifles of their attackers on the other side of the field, but we've seen them do crazier with less before.
Absolutely, and that's what we enjoy when they pull out those crazy stops with a little bit less. Right now, though, the majority of the pressure running it down mid. We can see Phoenix in B main here. A little bit of a flank coming in from KO as well. Looking for the intel from Gecko, but shot down immediately. There's the trap. The location is revealed. Eclipse lurking. Go around the other side. Festival at the back of the site. Dodges a headshot. Kaguya with the Ares. Waste no time. Finding two. Crestical gets one before being traded out here by Nexka. Kaguya once more spots him through the trap. Nexka does get the kill, but not in time. And Franklin Regional is starting to piece these rounds together very, very nicely. And that was that bonus round we talked about. If they were able to win that round, they should look to get this one as well. And we already have things tied up then.
100%. Yeah, the economy not feeling good right now for this Bishop Guilfoyle side. And for Professor Gouda, someone we mentioned kind of at the start of the series as their step-up player, didn't have the greatest first couple rounds. They have now stepped up, and especially in this half where they are 3 away in ultimate orbs from that showstopper. We'll see with this lesser weaponry, though. What can Bishop Guilfoyle do? What can you do on this attacking side? Because you need to start to hurt the economy, or this could ruin the entire half for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they don't want to let things get too far out of hand. We almost saw it in the other direction. VMA was able to find one with the Sheriff. Kaguya has upgraded from the Ares to the Odin. With that pressured on-site Eclipse, a huge pick here as well through mid. And now Kaguya has to be careful. Could get flanked from the other side. KO coming in to help out a little bit. The smoke in the way will dissipate. Stepping out. Eclipse. Perfect timing. Kaguya unzooms at the wrong time. Stray spicy nuts. Now Stray finding another. Somehow turning this round back around. A 2v1, but no health for any member of Franklin Regional.
Oh, the health doesn't feel good. Nuts is going to be seen. What? He doesn't even need HP. It doesn't matter. He's got the flicks. He's got the beams. He's got the headshots. And in a round that should have been there, it gets a little bit spicy. Stray spicy, and Nuts able to finish that one out.
Yeah, that was absolutely nuts. That name is very, very fitting. But to step out 11 health, find the dome shot there as well. And a beautiful, beautiful job by Franklin Regional after being down detrimentally. I think it was 8-2 at one point in this game, and now able to battle back here. Things all tied up 8-8. We knew it was going to be a banger of a match. Both these teams 4-2, looking for that top seed as they continue to fight here in Sunset.
Fighting back and forth, 8-8 as we go into round number 17. We've got some ultimates, but Stray Spicy has to be a little bit careful. Dodges away from the Dizzy. They've got elbow control right now with their KO, but this flood is coming in very quickly. They're calling in their extra resources, but with that headshot, the spike is down. So much extra information. It's going to force the run it back out on the other side. Flash is going through. The little homie gonna go for the stun, but it's VMA needing to clear everything. Won't get anything off the run it back, and the site is there. The flank is there. The spike might be picked up, but it's a 2v4.
2v4, Nuts will eat the flash, but able to back off to safety. Nexka is tucked onto site. Now the smoke comes in, but KO wisely popping the flash, then the swing right after. Knows there is one there. Flash to the site as well. The peak, though, and unfortunately, timing is everything. VMA, Nexka, both finding big picks here as well. Kaguya, though, with that Odin has been an absolute nuisance. Nexka has the Thrasher. How will they fare here? Spotted out. The shots ring out. Able to find one, but does he know that Gecko is there as well?
Gecko's waiting. 30 seconds left to go. No spike. Still an elbow.
30 seconds
Detain
left.
will probably expire by this time, so sending it to utility to the right. It's such a bad crossfire to walk into. Where do you look? Where do you go? And Kaguya tucked away once again. Able to get it done with that Ares. So another round falling Franklin Regional's way. They go 9-8. And Hot Sauce, it looks like we got this timeout flying in.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I mean, you absolutely need a timeout. Unfortunately, it looks like a game crash. So maybe not a tactical timeout, but a technical one. And they could still use that to their advantage. You know, talk about things that they might see, where they're having trouble, what's kind of falling apart on that defensive side. But I mean, this is why we love Valorant, right? It's such a game of runs, and it really speaks volumes. Even at the pro level, you'll see teams be down 9-3, even 10-2. Back on Haven, I've seen an 11-1 that they come back from and are able to win. So, you know, you can't let things like that affect your mental. And it's really great to see players at such a young age have the ability to do that, to not let it affect their mental, to keep driving strong here. After being down 8-2, they find themselves in the lead for the first time here today, looking to ride off into the sunset with that victory.
I saw what you did there. We're pulling the puns out of the bag here today, but I'm really excited, and this match has not disappointed. And you talk about the regular season as a whole for both of these two teams, 4-2. Like we said, sure, you've already secured playoffs, but it's about where you secure yourself in the playoffs. It's not just about, okay, we made top 8. It's, do we avoid the teams at the top of the bracket, or are we the teams at the top of the bracket to maybe give ourselves an easier run?
Absolutely. And you know, if it's me, I'm wanting to put the statement on the game. I want to let everybody know that I'm the top of the bracket. They need to look out for me. So I love to see the confidence here exuberating from these students out on the battlefield today as we wait to get this player loaded back in. And I think, yeah, so we do have them back in the game here. 10 seconds on the pre-round timer before we get round 18 underway. 3 ults on deck here for Franklin Regional and 2 for Bishop Guilfoyle.
We got some ultimates, but this could be a back-breaking round for Bishop Guilfoyle. If they don't win, this is so much of their funds. They're not going to be able to buy into this next round. They need a win here, and I'm looking at pre-JKS. We saw that not dead yet 3 times in the previous half. We need to see it get value here. It's just going to be a wait, though, through this kind of A-mid area. Crestical has some reinforcements and some really good crossfire angles with their teammates, but the spike carrier dropped early once again. It's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah, straight spicy, just showing that not only does he have the skrills in Rocket League, but he's got them here in Valorant as well. Been playing absolutely lights out here today as they have battled back through adversity. Nuts, though, from behind, finds the flank onto VMA. A big pick here as well, and now into a 4v3.
Positive player scenario here for the Panthers. They did know where that spike was originally, but didn't go for that extra pressure, fearing that they didn't have the cavalry to deal with it. Back towards mid, a little bit of dual eclipse is going to take and win, by the way. So transitioning from a 4v3 into a 3v3. Kaguya, though, back-to-back rounds, we've seen that nice big LMG just absolutely put in work. Cresticle's position is a problem. HP bar going to be dunked down from Eclipse, but not going to get the second. The headshot is there, but it's 15 seconds. There's no time. They have to get the plant now.
Yeah, 4 seconds to plant. They are able to find it over here on the A side. Has to be careful, though, as Omen is lurking about. They have an idea that there could be one on site here. And again, they have to play for this post plant, as now that neuro theft's going to give them all they need to know as well. That's absolutely huge. The smoke will come off here for Elbow. Having to rotate around is Paste. Kaguya there with the Odin. Timing is everything. Paste gets one. Spicy another. The ult from Pre-J now. Back to a 2v1, excuse me, and Pre-JKS coming up with a much needed round here for Bishop Guilfoyle. 9-9 once more tied up.
A great round. Really, really patient, really good through mid, and that is now, count it, 3 rounds that have been won by a ultimate by pre-JKS. Of course, they had their teammate there, so I don't know if you can 100% give it to them, but man, these ultimates have been stellar. You talk about getting over the 20 kill marker as well. This game is going good for you, and it was a round, like we said, that they needed to win. Going here, though, into round number 19, it gets even more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Bishop Guilfoyle get 8 in a row. That was 7 in a row for Franklin Regional. So a good bit of back and forth as they finally extinguish that flame. We'll see if they can get a little help here from the wingman. Going on to find the plan Eclipse already into the back of the site. The flash is there, the swing. Kaguya can't get it. Eclipse will pick the head and get the bread once more now in a 4v5.
Making the bread, eating it here. Cresticle, though, need to eat it all. Buttering up their opponent's next guy. Dropped first here, and that Thrasher going to be built up because of it. So much space, so much information going to be cleared on through here. Gouda, the double on the showstopper, clearing out everybody. Gets the headshot to follow. The defuse is coming in, and it's only one lonely Phoenix in a 4v1. The defuse is finished, and Nuts will fall just at the end of it, stuck in that down but not out form. But how about the change of pace on Sauce from the slowest round, 10 seconds up to plan, to exploding onto the site. Gouda showing us what they got with that showstopper.
Absolutely. Gouda getting all the cheese there with that one. A beautiful showstopper, the 2-piece, and then to wrap it up with a nice flick from the Phantom there to find that headshot, that 3rd kill, putting him at 20 and 14. Pre-JKS 23 and 16 on the other side of things, but here is the tough issue, right? The economy. Not quite there for them as well, and now being a round down, Franklin Regional has an opportunity to put themselves in the driver's seat here as most of the pressure is mounting toward mid.
Vroom, here we go, driving, and it's going to be A-Duels once again. Nuts every single time, just winning their 1v1s. It's as simple as that. It's not going to be the spike carrier taken down this time, but they've got so many delay tools. The knife going to be thrown out as well. A little bit extra pressure towards mid, but I feel like for Nuts can just kind of back up, get that cavalry with the team. And for the other side, it really does stink. Losing out on that jet, some of that speed to try and get yourself in towards these sites. Now you have to, again, pick your poison. Do you go into the A site where it's going to be heavily reinforced, or do you go into this site for utility?
Yeah, I mean, and to find that first pick onto Eclipse as well. Yeah. I mean, between Eclipse and pre-JKS, they've been putting in the workout here, but most of the action beginning to waterfall toward that A site. The pressure most likely will come after this initial utility. A couple pre-fire shots coming out. That's going to give TK Stray Spicy the intel he needs, but VMA somehow finds the pick. Nuts gets the trade back and forth. Free Gouda all finding picks of their own now in a 3v2 as the plant will go down on the A site.
Plant's going to go in, but you talk about that health bars. They are not feeling good right now. 20 for Gouda is all they have. Far enough away from the showstopper that it doesn't really matter. They've got this kind of pincer angle, though, and they do have more players than their opponents. And look at that. Kaguya every single time. Double up. Why don't you with the LMG? And Gouda's going to get another defuse for themselves and another knife's edge round that you feel like could change the entire game if Bishop Guilfoyle win. And it's just Kaguya and their crazy LMG to win it.
Yeah, I mean, this is just, it's absolutely nuts. I mean, to be down 8-2 and to battle back now up 11-9, again, just speaks volumes for these students and how they are out here just playing their hearts out. You absolutely love to see the determination from both of these teams. There is so much talent on the field here in all 10 of these members. So it's great that they're able to bring us such a phenomenal game here today at TEC.
Talent is there, and here we go into round number 21. Could be a big one here. VMA already got the run it back, and this is the aggression I wanted to see. Headshot starts us off. Flash is going to be there to gain the information as well, but we'll go back towards their original body. Plant already going down. 5v4, a round that Bishop Guilfoyle really need.
Yeah, and a great change of pace, right? You talked about how quickly they executed onto the site. The plant is already down here as well. Plenty of utility left in the repertoire as well. The retake all up to Franklin Regional, trying to make their way through the site. But again, so many smokes, so much utility here to deal with. The blast pack in, looking for intel. Eclipse finds one, nuts the trade. Kaguya on the backside of things, got one with the Odin, but Pre able to nullify that flame there. Again, pressuring in time, running out, but Pre JKS has been absolutely popping off. It's Nexka with the final one, but a big important round for them. They're able to clutch up now 10-11 as they are one away from tying it back up.
Man, this game has given us absolutely everything for a 3 and 4 seed battle in the final week of the regular season. That was huge, though. Like you mentioned, for Bishop Guilfoyle, they go fast, but then they just slow down. They play together. You see that final one where Pre-JKS gets the headshot, and they're like, okay, so what if Pre-JKS dies? We've got the swing to make it happen, Captain. They save their ultimates. They've got 3 more, and man, I would love some overtime if we could get to it.
Oh yeah, you know me. We've been doing this for a long time. Whether it's Valorant, Rocket League, or Overwatch, we'll take any and extra in all of the action that we can get. We truly love casting what these students do here for us all. And again, 10-11, the Thrasher coming in, no real value, the one-way smoke, but they are going to fearlessly press through. Preston able to find the first one. There's Kaguya with the Odin yet again. Pre, Gouda, and then back to Pre with the alt nuts, able to nullify that. VMA back and forth, so much action happening here in a matter of seconds.
And it's done. The action falls short just like that, and it's Kaguya time and time and time again. Man, this LMG just hitting its bullets. Gouda there to back him up as well. And you talk about some of the ultimates invested there. Both a couple of them used. So not feeling the greatest. Pre-JKS, Nexka is what I was going to say. Thrasher and that nice little Clove ultimate. So unfortunate. It's going to be map point for Franklin Regional. 10 though, double digits. Not the most money in the world for Bishop Guilfoyle, but this is where they need to win.
This is where they need to win. Backs against the wall. Franklin Regional able to trudge along through the trenches and now find themselves up on top. 12-2 match point sitting for them. Again, a lot of mid control here at the moment. The smokes will come in and they should be able to push up near market. The door was already shut by Raze though, so going to need that intel. We'll hear that audio cue around mid as well.
Audio's going to be there. The information you feel like is there, but Crestical takes down Paste. No neural theft. That is going to be a tough ultimate not to have. This round could be on Eclipse because you got the knives. They're going to reset because you hit the headshot. But it's a 4v3. Neural theft, showstopper available on the other side. Even KO build themselves up that kind of extra life, and Nuts is in such a good position. You pop that ultimate, it could be all but over, and this could be it right here. The Dizzy not even going to connect. Well, homie, gonna get destroyed, and Netska kind of all on their lonesome. There's the Nuts ultimate we were talking about, but it's 2 gun duels 1. Pre-JKS has done it time and time again. That Rez slowly going to fade out of existence. 30 seconds left. Where does the Bishop Guilfoyle squad choose to go?
Yeah, Nexka will finalize that kill onto KO. Now on a 2v2. Gecko, not a ton of health, as they will pressure toward the B site. One trap here at main, has the camera as well, but Cypher almost touching shoulders. Pre will come out on top. The paint shells coming in absolutely clutch. They have an idea he's in market. Will spot him the spray, but it's Pre-JK with a huge clutch, and they will stay alive. The dream still kicking here, 11-12 as they look to tie it up and potentially send things into overtime.
Oh, that's a massive round. That is a huge round, man. We said it. The economy wasn't there, but they got Pre-JKS. A 30 bomb in this map. And they are 1 round away from sending us to OT. How fitting would that be here in the final week of the regular season?
Oh, I mean, we wouldn't expect anything less here at TEC, always bringing the exciting action throughout Pennsylvania, and it's only going to get that much bigger come next season here with PIEA. So make sure you're following those socials so you can stay up to date with all the insane action going on. Here is the final round of regulation. We could see some overtime or Franklin Regional could take the dub. A lot of action here at mid again. They've had a lot of success with these mid plays. Gouda, though, on the showstopper, finding a big initial pick. Crestical gets one as well. Nexka on the trade back in a 4v3.
4v3 here. 4 their game life. This is it. Overtime directly in front of them. Pre-JKS, importantly, 3 ultimate orbs away from theirs. Mexico, 1 away. If they get a kill, if they can get this Thrasher online, and specifically if Eclipse can find this flank angle, how is the timing going to work? Is Gouda going to be able to get it? It's going to be Pre-JKS with a headshot, but Eclipse is found out. The plant is going to go on through. Nuts is going to wait for it. Nate is going to go down, and it is all up to Pre-JKS. They've got the ultimate, but it's a 2v1.
Yeah, a huge flank by Eclipse, almost working out in their favor, getting behind Raze and KO, but KO able to look back, timing being everything. Now the Roomba looking for a little bit of intel, has spotted Pre, the defusal partially coming in. Now the spray, Pre-J finds one, can't quite get the other, the kill comes in, but the defusal a hair too quick. Franklin Regional, after being down 8-2, fight tooth and nail to climb back into this one, 13-11. An absolute display here for game number 1.
That was a good one. I'm not going to lie. If we could have gone to overtime, it would have been huge. But, man, Pre-JKS still getting the highest average combat score. 30 bomb for them. 34 kills in the round. A couple of first bloods as well. Such a good back and forth. You talk about those strings of rounds that both these two teams accomplished. And for Franklin Regional, the dub is so big. Like we said, this is the last week of play. They have just increased their round differential from plus 33 to plus 35. If Forest Hills loses later, they could be going up to that number 2 overall seed.
Yeah, I think they absolutely will if Forest Hills loses later. Forest Hills is 5-1. Franklin Regional now 5-2. Forest Hills, if they lose to the Goats later, will be 5-2 as well. And as I had mentioned, Franklin Regional beat Forest Hills already in the regular season, which in my mind would go ahead and give them that upper hand position there. But we have to wait a little bit later because that is the last game of the day, guys. We're going to have to take a short break to get the players loaded into the lobby. But when we come back, we've got West Branch taking on West Green.
What's up, everyone? It's Kaiserin, and we're back with some TEC High School Valorant. We just got back from an exciting week 8 of Split, so before we head into this week's game, let's take a look at last week's matchups. Starting off with Division 1, we saw Greater Altoona CTC beat Bishop Guilfoyle 13-2, keeping the undefeated first place at 6-0 for the season. This marks Bishop Guilfoyle's second loss in a row, putting them in third at 4-2. Kratzer on that Raze ended the game with 370 ACS and a KD of 3 at 21-7, with 5 first bloods, the second week in a row with those stats. Franklin Regional shut down Penn Trafford 13-2 last Monday. That win puts Franklin Regional in 4th place at 4-2 for the season. Gouda on that Raze with 385 ACS and 7 first bloods led that team to victory with 22, 7, and 3 stats overall. Forest Hills takes a close victory against Richland High School 13-11. This win put Forest Hills at 5-1, making them 2nd overall for the season so far. Skip stood out on that Jet with 5 first bloods and 26 kills. Boyertown High School versus West Branch area ended with a 13-8 Boyertown victory. That's a big win for Boyertown, giving them 2-3 overall for the season, with West Branch yet to win a single game. Boyertown's A Bag of Skittles ended the game with 424 ACS, 29 kills, and 5 first bloods. Heading into D2, we saw Albert Gallatin take Greater Johnstown 13-5. Both teams sit at 3-2 for the season right now, but Greater Johnstown, despite this loss, sit just ahead of Albert Gallatin, ahead in round differential. Kaysen on that Raze for Albert Gallatin had an absolutely phenomenal game, ending with 48 kills and only 10 deaths and 7 first bloods and 5 aces to boot. However, Greater Johnstown Zaveru had a great game as well, ending 33-12 with 8 first bloods. Unfortunately for Zaveru, that wasn't enough to bring Greater Johnstown to victory this week. Greater Altoona CTC beat Hollidaysburg area 13-9 in an important matchup for seeding. CTC currently sit in 4th for the season at 3-2, with Hollidaysburg at 2-3 for the season and in 7th place. Pingusi led the team as a battle sage with 6 first bloods, 21 kills, and 4 assists. Franklin Regional Senior High School shut down Portage Area School District 13-0 to keep the undefeated streak going, staying number 1 at 6-0 for the season. Mitch on that Reina ended 35-2 for a 6 KD and 6 first bloods. Richland versus Chartiers Houston also ended in a 13-0 shutout, with Richland coming out on top, meaning they're also undefeated right now, sitting in 2nd place at 5-0 for the season. Richland's team comp was interesting. We got to see some new agents come out like Swish on that Clove, but it was OG Mudbone on ISO who went 17, 6, and 2 with 4 first bloods that led their team to victory. Now that we've seen last week's journey, let's take a look at our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. We had quite a week in Division 2. Let's check out those Power 5 rankings. Here's our overall D1 Valorant standings after last week. And here's a peek at our Division 2 standings before we head into Sunset this week. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week for D1 Valorant. I got my eye on Greater Altoona CTC versus Forest Hills. These teams are battling it out for those first 2 spots. Will Forest Hills finally be able to end CTC's win streak, or will CTC continue to come out on top? Here's this week's Division 2 schedule. The matchup between Richland and Blackland Valley is going to be an important one to pay attention to. These teams are currently 2nd and 3rd in the standings. If Richland win and remain undefeated, they have a chance to battle it out for that first place spot. If Blackland Valley can win here, they can hold on to their 3rd place position, since 4 teams currently hold that 3-2 scoreline. Well, it's about time for us to head into Sunset for some Week 9 action. Good luck to all of our players today, and don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action. And of course, tune back in on any of our Twitch channels the rest of this week for more great games. Until next time, I'm Kaiserin. Catch you all next week. What's up, everyone? It's Kaiserin, and we're back with some TEC High School Valorant. We just got back from an exciting Week 8 of Split, so before we head into this week's game, let's take a look at last week's matchups. Starting off with Division 1, we saw Greater Altoona CTC beat Bishop Guilfoyle 13-2, keeping the undefeated first place at 6-0 for the season. This marks Bishop Guilfoyle's 2nd loss in a row, putting them in 3rd at 4-2. Kratzer on that Raise ended the game with 370 ACS and a KD of 3 at 21-7 with 5 first bloods, the 2nd week in a row with those stats. Franklin Regional shut down Penn Trafford 13-2 last Monday. That win puts Franklin Regional in 4th place at 4-2 for the season. Gouda on that Raise with 385 ACS and 7 first bloods led that team to victory with 22, 7, and 3 stats overall. Forest Hills takes a close victory against Richland High School 13-11. This win put Forest Hills at 5-1, making them 2nd overall for the season so far. Skip stood out on that Jet with 5 first bloods and 26 kills. Boyertown High School versus West Branch area ended with a 13-8 Boyertown victory. That's a big win for Boyertown, giving them 2-3 overall for the season, with West Branch yet to win a single game. Boyertown's A Bag of Skittles ended the game with 424 ACS, 29 kills, and 5 First Bloods. Heading into D2, we saw Albert Gallatin take Greater Johnstown 13-5. Both teams sit at 3-2 for the season right now, but Greater Johnstown, despite this loss, sit just ahead of Albert Gallatin, ahead in round differential. Casing on that raise for Albert Gallatin had an absolutely phenomenal game, ending with 48 kills and only 10 deaths and 7 First Bloods and 5 aces to boot. However, Greater Johnstown's Zaveru had a great game as well, ending 33-12 with 8 First Bloods. Unfortunately for Zaveru, that wasn't enough to bring Greater Johnstown to victory this week. Greater Altoona CTC beat Hollidaysburg area 13-9 in an important matchup for seeding. CTC currently sit in 4th for the season at 3-2, with Hollidaysburg at 2-3 for the season and in 7th place. Pingusi led the team as a battle sage with 6 First Bloods, 21 kills, and 4 assists. Franklin Regional Senior High School shut down Portage Area School District 13-0 to keep the undefeated streak going, staying number 1 at 6-0 for the season. Mitch on that Reina ended 35-2 for a 6 KD and 6 First Bloods. Richland versus Chartiers Houston also ended in a 13-0 shutout, with Richland coming out on top, meaning they're also undefeated right now, sitting in 2nd place at 5-0 for the season. Richland's team comp was interesting. We got to see some new agents come out like Swish on that Clove, but it was OG Mudbone on ISO who went 17-6-2 with 4 First Bloods that led their team to victory. Now that we've seen last week's journey, let's take a look at our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. We had quite a week in Division 2. Let's check out those Power 5 rankings. Here's our overall D1 Valorant standings after last week. And here's a peek at our Division 2 standings before we head into Sunset this week. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week for D1 Valorant. I got my eye on Greater Altoona CTC versus Forest Hills. These teams are battling it out for those first 2 spots. Will Forest Hills finally be able to end CTC's win streak, or will CTC continue to come out on top? Here's this week's Division 2 schedule. The matchup between Richland and Blackland Valley is going to be an important one to pay attention to. These teams are currently 2nd and 3rd in the standings. If Richland win and remain undefeated, they have a chance to battle it out for that 1st place spot. If Blackland Valley can win here, they can hold on to their 3rd place position, since 4 teams currently hold that 3-2 scoreline. Well, it's about time for us to head into Sunset for some Week 9 action. Good luck to all of our players today, and don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action. And of course, tune back in on any of our Twitch channels the rest of this week for more great games. Until next time, I'm Kaiserin. Catch you all next week. What's up, everyone? It's Kaiserin, and we're back with some TEC High School Valorant. We just got back from an exciting Week 8 of Split, so before we head into this week's game, let's take a look at last week's matchups. Starting off with Division 1, we saw Greater Altoona CTC beat Bishop Guilfoyle 13-2, keeping the undefeated 1st place at 6-0 for the season. This marks Bishop Guilfoyle's 2nd loss in a row, putting them in 3rd at 4-2. Kratzer on that raise ended the game with 370 ACS and a KD of 3 at 21-7 with 5 First Bloods, the 2nd week in a row with those stats. Franklin Regional shut down Penn Trafford 13-2 last Monday. That win puts Franklin Regional in 4th place at 4-2 for the season. Gouda on that raise with 385 ACS and 7 First Bloods led that team to victory with 22, 7, and 3 stats overall. Forest Hills takes a close victory against Richland High School 13-11. This win put Forest Hills at 5-1, making them 2nd overall for the season so far. Skip stood out on that jet with 5 First Bloods and 26 kills. Boyertown High School versus West Branch area ended with a 13-8 Boyertown victory. That's a big win for Boyertown, giving them 2-3 overall for the season, with West Branch yet to win a single game. Boyertown's A Bag of Skittles ended the game with 424 ACS, 29 kills, and 5 First Bloods. Heading into D2, we saw Albert Gallatin take Greater Johnstown 13-5. Both teams sit at 3-2 for the season right now, but Greater Johnstown, despite this loss, sit just ahead of Albert Gallatin, ahead in round differential. Kaysen on that raise for Albert Gallatin had an absolutely phenomenal game, ending with 48 kills and only 10 deaths and 7 First Bloods and 5 aces to boot. However, Greater Johnstown's Zaveru had a great game as well, ending 33-12 with 8 First Bloods. Unfortunately for Zaveru, that wasn't enough to bring Greater Johnstown to victory this week. Greater Altoona CTC beat Hollidaysburg area 13-9 in an important matchup for seeding. CTC currently sit in 4th for the season at 3-2, with Hollidaysburg at 2-3 for the season and in 7th place. Pingusi led the team as a battle sage with 6 First Bloods, 21 kills, and 4 assists. Franklin Regional Senior High School shut down Portage Area School District 13-0 to keep the undefeated streak going, staying number 1 at 6-0 for the season. Mitch on that Reina ended 35-2 for a 6 KD and 6 First Bloods. Richland versus Chartiers Houston also ended in a 13-0 shutout, with Richland coming out on top, meaning they're also undefeated right now, sitting in 2nd place at 5-0 for the season. Richland's team comp was interesting. We got to see some new agents come out like Swish on that Clove, but it was OG Mudbone on ISO who went 17, 6, and 2 with 4 First Bloods that led their team to victory. Now that we've seen last week's journey, let's take a look at our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. We had quite a week in Division 2. Let's check out those Power 5 rankings. Here's our overall D1 Valorant standings after last week. And here's a peek at our Division 2 standings before we head into Sunset this week. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week for D1 Valorant. I got my eye on Greater Altoona CTC versus Forest Hills. These teams are battling it out for those first 2 spots. Will Forest Hills finally be able to end CTC's win streak, or will CTC continue to come out on top? Here's this week's Division 2 schedule. The matchup between Richland and Blackland Valley is going to be an important one to pay attention to. These teams are currently 2nd and 3rd in the standings. If Richland win and remain undefeated, they have a chance to battle it out for that first place spot. If Blackland Valley can win here, they can hold on to their 3rd place position, since 4 teams currently hold that 3-2 scoreline. Well, it's about time for us to head into Sunset for some Week 9 action. Good luck to all of our players today, and don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action. And of course, tune back in on any of our Twitch channels the rest of this week for more great games. Until next time, I'm Kaiserin. Catch you all next week. up, everyone? It's Kaiserin, and we're back with some TEC High School Valorant. We just got back from an exciting week 8 of Split, so before we head into this week's game, let's take a look at last week's matchups. Starting off with Division 1, we saw Greater Altoona CTC beat Bishop Guilfoyle 13-2, keeping the undefeated first place at 6-0 for the season. This marks Bishop Guilfoyle's second loss in a row, putting them in third at 4-2. Kratzer on that raise ended the game with 370 ACS and a KD of 3 at 21-7, with 5 first bloods, the second week in a row with those stats. Franklin Regional shut down Penn Trafford 13-2 last Monday. That win puts Franklin Regional in 4th place at 4-2 for the season. Gouda on that raise with 385 ACS and 7 first bloods led that team to victory with 22, 7, and 3 stats overall. Forest Hills takes a close victory against Richland High School 13-11. This win put Forest Hills at 5-1, making them second overall for the season so far. Skip stood out on that jet with 5 first bloods and 26 kills. Boyertown High School versus West Branch area ended with a 13-8 Boyertown victory. That's a big win for Boyertown, giving them 2-3 overall for the season, with West Branch yet to win a single game. Boyertown's A Bag of Skittles ended the game with 424 ACS, 29 kills, and 5 first bloods. Heading into D2, we saw Albert Gallatin take Greater Johnstown 13-5. Both teams sit at 3-2 for the season right now, but Greater Johnstown, despite this loss, sit just ahead of Albert Gallatin, ahead in round differential. Kaysen on that raise for Albert Gallatin had an absolutely phenomenal game, ending with 48 kills and only 10 deaths and 7 first bloods and 5 aces to boot. However, Greater Johnstown's Zaveru had a great game as well, ending 33-12 with 8 first bloods. Unfortunately for Zaveru, that wasn't enough to bring Greater Johnstown to victory this week. Greater Altoona CTC beat Hollidaysburg area 13-9 in an important matchup for seeding. CTC currently sit in 4th for the season at 3-2, with Hollidaysburg at 2-3 for the season and in 7th place. Pingusi led the team as a battle sage with 6 first bloods, 21 kills, and 4 assists. Franklin Regional Senior High School shut down Portage Area School District 13-0 to keep the undefeated streak going, staying number 1 at 6-0 for the season. Mitch on that Reina ended 35-2 for a 6 KD and 6 first bloods. Richland versus Chartiers Houston also ended in a 13-0 shutout, with Richland coming out on top, meaning they're also undefeated right now, sitting in 2nd place at 5-0 for the season. Richland's team comp was interesting. We got to see some new agents come out like Swish on that Clove, but it was OG Mudbone on ISO who went 17, 6, and 2 with 4 first bloods that led their team to victory. Now that we've seen last week's journey, let's take a look at our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. We had quite a week in Division 2. Let's check out those Power 5 rankings. Here's our overall D1 Valorant standings after last week. And here's a peek at our Division 2 standings before we head into Sunset this week. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week for D1 Valorant. I got my eye on Greater Altoona CTC versus Forest Hills. These teams are battling it out for those first 2 spots. Will Forest Hills finally be able to end CTC's win streak, or will CTC continue to come out on top? Here's this week's Division 2 schedule. The matchup between Richland and Blackland Valley is going to be an important one to pay attention to. These teams are currently second and third in the standings. If Richland win and remain undefeated, they have a chance to battle it out for that first place spot. If Blacklick Valley can win here, they can hold on to their third place position, since 4 teams currently hold that 3-2 scoreline. Well, it's about time for us to head into Sunset for some Week 9 action. Good luck to all of our players today, and don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action. And of course, tune back in on any of our Twitch channels the rest of this week for more great games. Until next time, I'm Kaiserin. Catch you all next week. What's up, everyone? It's Kaiserin, and we're back with some TEC High School Valorant. We just got back from an exciting Week 8 of Split, so before we head into this week's game, let's take a look at last week's matchups. Starting off with Division 1, we saw Greater Altoona CTC beat Bishop Guilfoyle 13-2, keeping the undefeated first place at 6-0 for the season. This marks Bishop Guilfoyle's second loss in a row, putting them in third at 4-2. Kratzer on that raise ended the game with 370 ACS and a KD of 3 at 21-7 with 5 first bloods, the second week in a row with those stats. Franklin Regional shut down Penn Trafford 13-2 last Monday. That win puts Franklin Regional in 4th place at 4-2 for the season. Gouda on that raise with 385 ACS and 7 first bloods led that team to victory with 22, 7, and 3 stats overall. Forest Hills takes a close victory against Richland High School 13-11. This win put Forest Hills at 5-1, making them second overall for the season so far. Skip stood out on that jet with 5 first bloods and 26 kills. Boyertown High School versus West Branch area ended with a 13-8 Boyertown victory. That's a big win for Boyertown, giving them 2-3 overall for the season, with West Branch yet to win a single game. Boyertown's A Bag of Skittles ended the game with 424 ACS, 29 kills, and 5 first bloods. Heading into D2, we saw Albert Gallatin take Greater Johnstown 13-5. Both teams sit at 3-2 for the season right now, but Greater Johnstown, despite this loss, sit just ahead of Albert Gallatin, ahead in round differential. Kaysen on that raise for Albert Gallatin had an absolutely phenomenal game, ending with 48 kills and only 10 deaths and 7 first bloods and 5 aces to boot. However, Greater Johnstown Zaveru had a great game as well, ending 33-12 with 8 first bloods. Unfortunately for Zaveru, that wasn't enough to bring Greater Johnstown to victory this week. Greater Altoona CTC beat Hollidaysburg area 13-9 in an important matchup for seeding. CTC currently sit in 4th for the season at 3-2, with Hollidaysburg at 2-3 for the season and in 7th place. Pingusi led the team as a battle sage with 6 first bloods, 21 kills, and 4 assists. Franklin Regional Senior High School shut down Portage Area School District 13-0 to keep the undefeated streak going, staying number 1 at 6-0 for the season. Mitch on that Reina ended 35-2 for a 6 KD and 6 first bloods. Richland versus Chartiers Houston also ended in a 13-0 shutout, with Richland coming out on top, meaning they're also undefeated right now, sitting in 2nd place at 5-0 for the season. Richland's team comp was interesting. We got to see some new agents come out like Swish on that Clove, but it was OG Mudbone on ISO who went 17-6-2 with 4 first bloods that led their team to victory. Now that we've seen last week's journey, let's take a look at our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. We had quite a week in Division 2. Let's check out those Power 5 rankings. Here's our overall D1 Valorant standings after last week. And here's a peek at our Division 2 standings before we head into Sunset this week. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week for D1 Valorant. I got my eye on Greater Altoona CTC versus Forest Hills. These teams are battling it out for those first two spots. Will Forest Hills finally be able to end CTC's win streak, or will CTC continue to come out on top? Here's this week's Division 2 schedule. The matchup between Richland and Blackland Valley is going to be an important one to pay attention to. These teams are currently second and third in the standings. If Richland win and remain undefeated, they have a chance to battle it out for that first place spot. If Blackland Valley can win here, they can hold on to their third place position, since 4 teams currently hold that 3-2 scoreline. Well, it's about time for us to head into Sunset for some Week 9 action. Good luck to all of our players today, and don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action. And of course, tune back in on any of our Twitch channels the rest of this week for more great games. Until next time, I'm Kaiserin. Catch you all next week. What's up, everyone? It's Kaiserin, and we're back with some TEC High School Valorant. We just got back from an exciting Week 8 of Split, so before we head into this week's game, let's take a look at last week's matchups. Starting off with Division 1, we saw Greater Altoona CTC beat Bishop Guilfoyle 13-2, keeping the undefeated first place at 6-0 for the season. This marks Bishop Guilfoyle's second loss in a row, putting them in third at 4-2. Kratzer on that raise ended the game with 370 ACS and a KD of 3 at 21-7 with 5 first bloods, the second week in a row with those stats. Franklin Regional shut down Penn Trafford 13-2 last Monday. That win puts Franklin Regional in 4th place at 4-2 for the season. Gouda on that raise with 385 ACS and 7 first bloods led that team to victory with 22, 7, and 3 stats overall. Forest Hills takes a close victory against Richland High School 13-11. This win put Forest Hills at 5-1, making them second overall for the season so far. Skip stood out on that jet with 5 first bloods and 26 kills. Boyertown High School versus West Branch area ended with a 13-8 Boyertown victory. That's a big win for Boyertown, giving them 2-3 overall for the season, with West Branch yet to win a single game. Boyertown's A Bag of Skittles ended the game with 424 ACS, 29 kills, and 5 first bloods. Heading into D2, we saw Albert Gallatin take Greater Johnstown 13-5. Both teams sit at 3-2 for the season right now, but Greater Johnstown, despite this loss, sit just ahead of Albert Gallatin ahead in round differential. Kaysen on that raise for Albert Gallatin had an absolutely phenomenal game, ending with 48 kills and only 10 deaths and 7 first bloods and 5 aces to boot. However, Greater Johnstown Zaveru had a great game as well, ending 33-12 with 8 first bloods. Unfortunately for Zaveru, that wasn't enough to bring Greater Johnstown to victory this week. Greater Altoona CTC beat Hollidaysburg area 13-9 in an important matchup for seeding. CTC currently sit in 4th for the season at 3-2, with Hollidaysburg at 2-3 for the season and in 7th place. Pingusi led the team as a battle sage with 6 first bloods, 21 kills, and 4 assists. Franklin Regional Senior High School shut down Portage Area School District 13-0 to keep the undefeated streak going, staying number 1 at 6-0 for the season. Mitch on that Reina ended 35-2 for a 6 KD and 6 first bloods. Richland versus Chartiers Houston also ended in a 13-0 shutout with Richland coming out on top, meaning they're also undefeated right now, sitting in second place at 5-0 for the season. Richland's team comp was interesting. We got to see some new agents come out like Swish on that Clove, but it was OG Mudbone on ISO who went 17, 6, and 2 with 4 First Bloods that led their team to victory. Now that we've seen last week's journey, let's take a look at our Division 1 Power 5 rankings. We had quite a week in Division 2. Let's check out those Power 5 rankings. Here's our overall D1 Valorant standings after last week. And here's a peek at our Division 2 standings before we head into Sunset this week. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week for D1 Valorant. I got my eye on Greater Altoona CTC versus Forest Hills. These teams are battling it out for those first 2 spots. Will Forest Hills finally be able to end CTC's win streak, or will CTC continue to come out on top? Here's this week's Division 2 schedule. The matchup between Richland and Blackland Valley is going to be an important one to pay attention to. These teams are currently 2nd and 3rd in the standings. If Richland win and remain undefeated, they have a chance to battle it out for that first place spot. If Blackland Valley can win here, they can hold on to their 3rd place position, since 4 teams currently hold that 3-2 scoreline. Well, it's about time for us to head into Sunset for some Week 9 action. Good luck to all of our players today, and don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action. And of course, tune back in on any of our Twitch channels the rest of this week for more great games. Until next time, I'm Kaiserin. Catch you all next week. What's up, everyone? It's Kaiserin, and we're back with some TEC High School Valorant. We just got back from an exciting Week 8 of Split, so before we head into this week's game, let's take a look at last week's matchups. Starting off with Division 1, we saw Greater Altoona CTC beat Bishop Guilfoyle 13-2, keeping the undefeated first place at 6-0 for the season. This marks Bishop Guilfoyle's 2nd loss in a row, putting them in 3rd at 4-2. Kratzer on that raise ended the game with 370 ACS and a KD of 3 at 21-7 with 5 First Bloods, the 2nd week in a row with those stats. Franklin Regional shut down Penn Trafford 13-2 last Monday. That win puts Franklin Regional in 4th place at 4-2 for the season. Gouda on that raise with 385 ACS and 7 First Bloods led that team to victory with 22, 7, and 3 stats overall. Forest Hills takes a close victory against Richland High School 13-11. This win put Forest Hills at 5-1, making them 2nd overall for the season so far. Skip stood out on that jet with 5 First Bloods and 26 kills. Boyertown High School versus West Branch area ended with a 13-8 Boyertown victory. That's a big win for Boyertown, giving them 2-3 overall for the season, with West Branch yet to win a single game. Boyertown's A Bag of Skittles ended the game with 424 ACS, 29 kills, and 5 First Bloods. Heading into D2, we saw Albert Gallatin take Greater Johnstown 13-5. Both teams sit at 3-2 for the season right now, but Greater Johnstown, despite this loss, sit just ahead of Albert Gallatin, ahead in round differential. Kaysen on that raise for Albert Gallatin had an absolutely phenomenal game, ending with 48 kills and only 10 deaths and 7 First Bloods and 5 aces to boot. However, Greater Johnstown's Zaveru had a great game as well, ending 33-12 with 8 first bloods. Unfortunately for Zaveru, that wasn't enough to bring Greater Johnstown to victory this week. Greater Altoona CTC beat Hollidaysburg area 13-9 in an important matchup for seeding. CTC currently sit in 4th for the season at 3-2, with Hollidaysburg at 2-3 for the season and in 7th place. Pingusi led the team as a battle sage with 6 first bloods, 21 kills, and 4 assists. Franklin Regional Senior High School shut down Portage Area School District 13-0 to keep the undefeated streak going, staying number 1 at 6-0 for the season. Mitch on that Reina ended 35-2 for a 6 KD and 6 first bloods. Richland versus Chartiers Houston also ended in a 13-0 shutout, with Richland coming out on top, meaning they're also undefeated right now, sitting in 2nd place at 5-0 for the season. Richland's team comp was interesting.
And we're back from that break, still here at the TEC High School Series, here for week number 9 of our regular season action featuring Valorant and Hot Sauce. We actually had that second match canceled due to a forfeit, so we are on to the final matchup of the day with the number 1 and number 2 overall seeds.
Yeah, Greater Altoona still undefeated for the 2nd season in a row. The GOATs, for a reason, taking on Forest Hills, another staple of TEC, who is sitting at 5-1 at the moment. So could be a huge game for them if they could find a way to upset the GOATs. But man, it is going to be no easy task. This crew has been playing together and been playing lights out for multiple seasons, with most recently Gus stepping up from the D2 team, who was often carrying that D2 team in the previous season. So has been a nice filler in this role here as well. Look forward to seeing how they play on Sunset. Typically, you know, we see that Raze or that Jet coming out. Most likely we'll have Kratzer on that Raze. Gus on Cypher locking down the B site. And I got to tell you, Llama, I'm super excited for this one.
I'm hyped. I'm ready to go. They promised me 3 overtimes, so we'll see if we do get there. But you talk about Kratzer and Skip specifically. We were talking about players over the 100 kill marker just a bit ago in our first series. There are only 3 players in all of the TEC Division 1 that are over that 100 marker, and 2 of them are here in this game. Skip with 111 right now, and Kratzer with 122. It'll be a battle of these 2 duelists for sure.
Yeah, you know, and Skip we often see on that Sage as well, but going to be playing on that Reina today. So looking forward to that battle. But Kratzer on my Raze, doing Raze things, always finding ways for that fast entry, whether it's a single or double blast pack, getting in, creating that distance, that space, that confusion, and still finding first bloods and often multiple picks. So again, I mean, the whole crew from Kratzer to Bane, Yoshi, Claw, Gus are all extremely talented, but always looking out for Kratzer.
Gotta be a fun one. Got to watch for Kratzer and got to watch for Skip here going in towards this first round. Now, because of the earlier result, we also do have to mention for Forest Hills, not only is this kind of a must-win game, but also the round differential has to be pretty good if it's not. We saw the other squads earlier, both at 4-2. We said if Forest Hills does drop this game right here, they could lose that number 2 overall spot, which especially you don't want to stumble right at the finish line. This is the final week number 9. But enough about the standings. Let's get into the pistol round.
Yeah, you know, Franklin Regional winning earlier 5-2 and has given Forest Hills their only loss thus far the regular season. So in my mind, they would fall to at least that number 3 seed if they don't win this game. That 3-round timer has expired. The Flash is coming onto site looking for the intel, pressuring through the one-way. Skip able to find the first pick, the double blast pack, and Skip able to get another here. Claw eventually finds the trade. Bane will tap one onto Cardor as well, and just like that, back to a 3v3 looking for the overheal, but Strike Force, cool, calm, and collected will subject him to a hailstorm of bullets. Finds the trade as Gus. Now a 2v1, but Bacon Lover quickly wrapping it up, and this is what Forest Hills needs. They need to start winning rounds early and put that pressure back on the GOATs.
round is going to be theirs. They're doing exactly like you asked of them. And you talk about where those kills are actually going. You got a couple picks on towards Skip and Strikeforce, who are playing Reyna and Clove. We already saw the big Clove ultimates in that previous map, but if you can get that Empress, especially on Skip, built up early in these rounds, you can definitely make some creative plays.
Yeah, you know, and Strikeforce has just been continuously getting better. He's one of the students that I've been fortunate enough to play with, and his improvement over the last season has just been tenfold. Strike's really putting in the work here. Spray's coming out early. Skip up in a good position, finding that first pick, but because up so far, that does mean Kratzer and crew will be able to grab that SMG as well, potentially look to give him an advantage. Claw on the lurk, finds Carter as well. Bacon able to find that trade back, but some good kills here early in this eco round from Greater Altoona.
It's a great battle back. 3v3 right now. Strikeforce going to be blocked off of that vision line through mid. I'd also like to say, you talk about the composition. It's Killjoy and Cypher is going to be able to hold down both of these sites beautifully with so much utility. Bacon Lover's going to be waiting in the smoke, looking for possible utility just to dump on in here. Takes a couple of bullets, but the fling back from Kratzer. The 2v1 angle, and Strikeforce can't get it done. It's all down to the KJ. The plant is coming through, and on this eco round, after picking up that SMG, it really does feel like that this might be a righting of the ship from the Goats.
Yeah, Robotics, though, not quite ready to be done. Finds a nice pick onto Kratzer to help nullify things. Still in a 2v1 in top position, waiting for it to clear the swing. Steps on by, though. Gus waiting patiently. The trigger discipline is there. And after losing the first round, typically we see teams win that second one as well, but it's actually Greater Altoona who able to battle back and take that bye round away from them.
The round away. We're tied up 1-1, and this just goes to show you how good both of these two teams are. The ability to battle back, the ability to get that SMG in their favor. And now for the Goats, they will have a severe weapon advantage going their way. The question is now on the other side. I'm looking at Bacon Lover, playing an elbow, not in the greatest position, but does have one of those better buys with the shotgun. So much utility, by the way. Both the Cypher and the KJ utility is blocking everything from the B main entrance.
Yeah, I mean, they could have really read this play here well, and it could work out in their favor. A lot of utility. There's the one way as well. A lot of damage, but the decay does so much. Down to one. Kratzer able to clean him up, and with that, the Cypher trips to the wayside. It's going to make that entry much easier. Skip lurking outside the smoke. There's the flash as well. Stepping in. Strike able to find one. Kratzer, Bane back and forth, finding two picks of their own. Strike with the stinger, putting in work, but the paint shells will rain down, and he will fall as well. Now in a 2v1.
Kratzer's going to clean things up. Nice little 4K there, and you talk about getting really good ultimate orbs in great spots. Kratzer, 6-2, is already going to have that showstopper built up, and man, a great one-way, a really good setup, but just this fast play again from the Goats. It's what we've seen all season long.
Yeah, you know, I could say that you know, I hate to be right, but I might be lying. Kratzer, one to look out for. We say it time and time again, and never disappoints. Just a plethora of skill there. Otherwise, on the other side of things, though, Strikeforce really stepping it up for the team at the moment, at the top there, 4-3, as we get ready for round number 4.
As we hop into this round number 4, like we talk about, not only its utility, but we have both of those big ultimates we were talking about being built up. The Empress and the Not Dead Yet here can change rounds, and especially with rifles here, this is one where the Rangers need to be able to battle back. They're going to slow things down, popping in utility to make sure all of the players are forced back, but they have taken aggressive positions here. It's going to be up to Skip to get a couple picks.
Yeah, I like this. Forest Hills trusting in Skip's ability, really pushing out A, getting the intel. Bacon with a beautiful flash, stuffing out a triple kill, and a beautiful display of utility. Skip, Gus all finding trades here, but an absolute huge round for Bacon Lover. Gus still able to find one, has the neuro theft. We'll get the last bit of intel they need here as well. The split is in play. We can see the pings on the map as well, and Clove lurking around through spawn in a good position. Not much health here as well, so it's going to be a tough one.
30 seconds so tough left. As well with Gus's health bar. Doesn't have the most resources in the world to work with. Gotta feel like as well with that Clove ultimate, which makes it so tough. Gus also doesn't have a hat, so it's going to be possibly balding here. Has to be a little bit careful with that too, but it's just going to be the shots hit from Cardor, nice and easy. Had the nice tripwires as well to deny that entry, but really cleanly played towards the end of the round, and Forest Hill showing us they can battle back.
You know, maybe with no hat, maybe a smaller hitbox on the head. Maybe. Nonetheless, it didn't really matter. Able to capitalize there, and this is what we like to see, a bit of back and forth from these two top-tier teams early as we tie things up once more. Most of the pressure from Greater Altoona has been toward the B site. It does look like they're going to opt to switch things up a bit here right now, kind of just lurking outside of A and this pre-round timer.
Again, all that utility, it needs to be round wins on the defensive side from Forest Hills, because on the offense, they're going to have a little bit tougher time getting into some of these sites. Nice little ultimate already from Bacon Lover. We saw the flash last time. The Kratzer, the close range shotgun, and the headshot towards their opponent will give them full sight control. They're already in towards the background. Clawcera, though, doesn't look the right way. 2 headshots. The shotguns are being shut down. The Claw is back. The ultimate from Clove is there, but we've got double Clove ultimates coming through. This might cost Strike Force. They don't get it off fast enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, Claw was just so close and then able to chase him down. There's that animation in between time of coming back. The judge in the face with Lex. Meanwhile, Cardor finds not only one, but the flick from Kratzer as well as they try to blast up. The Neuro Theft goes out, but no value is Gus lurking through elbow. Will find a big pick. Greater Altoona back on top here by 1.
Absolutely chaotic of a round, and gotta say for Greater Altoona, the patience there to be able to walk forward with those shotguns even more, not give away their hand, but be able to play it perfectly. They raise the ante and they raise up their round score up to 3. The economy shifting back and forth, neither team really stable, but for Greater Altoona, they'll at least be able to full buy here in this round.
A full buy here as they look to extend the lead by 1. Of course, Forest Hills looking to bring it back just a little bit. And again, the pressure back toward the B site. But look how much space given at A. Bacon Lover already through A. In toward Marketer Tiles here as well. Claw lurking on the other side. About to go head-to-head here at mid. I think he heard the audio cue, the steps to swing the spray, but Bacon comes out on top. Meanwhile, Bane will take out Cardor on the site. The showstopper comes in, but there is no show to stop at the moment. Gus with the plan as Greater Altoona looks to take control.
It is still a defensive side hold right now for Forest Hills. They're going to lose the first. They're going to lose the second, both off of a headshot. And how about the third? It's just absolutely clean. Every single way on through. The dog should be able to see this away. Skip has just got a sheriff against the world, but remember that dream. Don't you dare forget about it, Skip. Like we said, top player for a reason, but Ping is able to take the headshot and really, really fast play. I love how they push forward off that showstopper, and now Greater Altoona extend their lead.
Greater Altoona up by 2 as they begin to get and fall into that play style they're comfortable and used to. Bane will have the op in hands, and Skip, typically we see with the op on the other side of things, unfortunately, economy not quite there. We'll have to get the rifle with light armor. Of course, Reina can hand that over. He'll has the ult on deck as well. 2 ults up here for Greater Altoona as we get the next round underway.
They've got 2 ultimates, but more importantly here for Forest Hills, like we said, this is your defensive side, and I guess Skip doesn't even care if you've got the operator. They've got the rifle, they've got the double headshots, and they have shut down the spike. If they can push forward, if they can get aggressive, they could take a triple here and be able to shut down this round very quickly. Skip is on a triple, and the round is pretty much already over. It's a 3v1 though, and we know who's on the other side. Kratzer with a couple of headshots, doesn't have the spike, and has to walk through all this power, surely. Surely, right? Yeah. Doesn't happen. Headshot, Robotics Master cleans up the round, and how about Skip, man? Absolutely dastardly.
Yeah, great job. I mean, they've been giving Skip a lot of space. They've actually been giving a lot of space over at that A side. I wouldn't mind seeing them have a lurker over there to kind of slow things down, because they're pushing out rather quickly, allowing them to get that early intel as well, and kind of able to hold that rotation from them. So doing a great job right now at making those adjustments is Forest Hills. We'll see how Greater Altoona can answer back. Right now, everybody lingering outside the B site.
They're lingering around, and I was going to say before, Skip went crazy, and he does it again, man. Same angle, same pick. 1v1 on this Reina, 2 rounds in a row is there. maybe I can actually make my point, or Skip is just going to take all the kills. It's a round they need to win. Like we said, already gave your opponents 4 on the attacking side. But look at this angle. Bacon Lover not able to get too much off it. The operator in movement there. Just not missing. Assisted by the Cavalry of Robotics Master and Big Gusty. They're just trying to fight mid, but it's Skip on a triple. They've got the healing. Their opponents have the spike, but it's a 3v1 and not the greatest scenario.
Yeah, unfortunately, just giving Skip too many 1v1 engagements there at mid. Needing to work off that flash, needing to find a way to swing together, and just allowing Skip to have 3 separate 1v1 battles. Skip taking advantage, which we love to see, finding those big picks. And now Gus beginning to work back around through mid. Has to be careful here. There is an op lurking up at the top position. Eventually has a smoke to work with, but Skip is lurking just on the other side and will step through with the flash. There he goes, the run, the spray, and Goss with a huge pick. Could potentially turn things around. The Neural Theft is going to give him all the intel he needs. Has spotted the Cypher lurking on the other side of the market. We see Cypher looking to fall back here, allow for Clove to get over so they can play this retake together as a team.
Clove no ultimate though. It's going to be a nice reveal there. Swing around the corner. The time, you need 4 seconds for that plant, and Gus is going to get it. The plant is going down. 33 HP, and the location is revealed through the smoke. Move that dart, and Strike Force doesn't even need the info. Nice shutdown there. Another point towards that ultimate orb, and it's going to be a tied up map here at all 4.
Love to see it. I love to see Strike Force coming in those clutch moments, capitalizing, especially on this Clove here as well. Able to grab the op here for Skip. Again, just playing very, very well here. And now all tied up 4-4. Somebody finally giving the GOATs a run for their money. I mean, most of these games from Greater Altoona have been typically very, very one-sided. So, you know, it's great to see Forest Hills stepping up and performing here.
We got step-up performances on both sides, but you talk about money. Things are still very unstable for both these two teams. It is going to be kind of a half-buy more for the GOATs. And Skip has got the operator, baying 3 rounds in a row. Falls towards the rifle in the first one, now gives over the operator for the next 2. And Skip has been making such a big difference. Strike Force, though, is going to be cut down a little bit early in that market area. But I feel like, again, you talk about the lesser buy here for Greater Altoona. They kind of invested, though, and Skip is investing in themselves. A double, and on the way to holding this market angle perfectly. Yes, Kratzer might have a shot, but they just keep peeking this guy over and over.
Yeah, you know, and that's the one thing that was kind of bothering me. We don't really see the GOATs make some of those more simple mistakes, but 2 or 3 times now we've seen Bane peek at mid without a flash, just blindly peeking into an angle that's already being held by Skip, who doesn't have to peek, allowing them to find those first picks, and then again, peeking from market with no flash or no smoke. You have to use that utility against an opper if you want to come out on top. Bacon Lover in a good spot, flashes for days, pops one, Bacon able to get one, Kratzer will find the trade now on a 2v1. Skip and Kratzer have been going at it all day. Both of these GOATs going head-to-head. You absolutely love to see the competition, and it's Skip with a huge triple kill. Will pick up the op once more, and now Forest Hills looking to go on top and run with it.
Back on top here. It's like what we said they needed for this defensive side, but man, you've talked at ends about how Skip has had a good performance, but 15-7, that last round specifically, pulling a triple, switching to the rifle, the reconnaissance to be able to grab the rifle, switch back to the op there at the end, and now it's a round here for Greater Altoona where they've got one of these shotguns, they've got some rifles, but one light shield. This is a must-win if they want their economy to survive.
A must win indeed. Again, the pressure right now mounting toward that B site. Nobody lurking at mid, not allowing Skip to find those early easy picks here as well. We see Cardor waiting to see if that trap does get blown up by paint shells or something of the sort, which is exactly what happened, but able to put up that secondary trip now. We see the Roomba coming in, looking for the intel, has the one-way smoke as well. Gonna be a top. Here comes the showstopper in once more. Spotted the rocket. It will connect, but Cardor able to take out Kratzer in the meantime.
Huge trade in the air, and Skip is back. The operator is here, and the lockdown is as well. This is the nice thing about having the Killjoy. Some squids are going to go out. Seeker is giving some information as the operator cuts down one of them. But it's going to be a nice blind popping through. 2v2. Lockdown clears them out, and no players will be detained, but it's up to Payne. That Empress gonna be the first view out, but Robotics shuts him down with a headshot. And again, the switch over towards the rifle. 2v1. Ping has to step through, and Skip has got their teammates back. That is teamwork making the dream work. And Forest Hills, 4-round wins in a row.
Yeah, and and that's probably the third time I've seen Bane run through that smoke with no blind. We saw Sky, throwing a blind in shortly after Bane had died. But again, they've got to use this utility together. They need, if they're going to push through a smoke or they're going to peek somewhere open where there can be an opper, they need to do so with a blind or with a smoke, but that hasn't been the case thus far. And a team that we've often seen played nearly flawlessly throughout the regular season in these last 2 seasons, the previous postseason as well, but maybe stumbling a bit, showing us that they are human, that they do make mistakes. But we'll see if they can kind of take a deep breath, reset, and regain as we get ready for round 11.
Into round 11, and we're going to a firefight absolutely immediately. Robotics a double. Clazera will hit the res, but can they escape to safety? Bacon Lover is going to be blind and taken immediately down. Robotics on a triple. But how about Skip? Shut down. No operator this time. Clazera using that ultimate to great effect here, but from behind, Strikeforce is back. Strikeforce has the ultimate, and Strikeforce has a double. Man, bloodbath here. But it's a 2v1 hot sauce. Neural Thefts available on both sides.
Yeah, Strikeforce absolutely killing it right there, especially with the Bulldog, one of those underrated weapons that doesn't often get enough credit. Gus, though, somehow finds the swing. The ult will come in, just has to buy time and play smart here. Only 30 health, so Strike could potentially find the pick and regain that life, and does. A triple kill coming out from Strikeforce. An absolute huge round for Strike and for Forest Hills.
That was massive. I really, really love that. They just pressure on forward. They send that ultimate from Bacon Lover in to start off the round. And then it's the follow-up, man. Robotics Master, Strikeforce both having their moments. And even, this is the nice thing about Forest Hills, even when Skip isn't stepping up, you have so many other players to rely on. The teamwork is going to be there. We are in the last round before we switch sides. There's an opportunity for Forest Hills to go 6 straight. And their macro has been absolutely awesome.
Yeah, we've seen Skip kind of dominate in the past, but it's been Strike and Bacon and some of these guys who have made huge improvements throughout the regular season that now help to carry that team to victory. A lot of the action right now mounting toward the A side, getting in position, and we see Forest Hills looking to push off of those flashes as well, playing together as a team. The flash through from Skip, out the swing, and Claw will fall to the op yet again. Now on a 4v5, Skip and crew tucked into the back of the site, looking for a little more intel. Still a 4v5 nonetheless. The Neural Theft will give them all the intel they need. The blind strike Bane back and forth. Skip with a flick to the ceiling. Tell me how you feeling, my boy. Looking absolutely nasty. The triple kill coming in through the smoke, and Skip is absolutely firing on all cylinders, baby.
And it's a 20 bomb. We're only halfway through this game. Using the ultimates perfectly. I mean, Skip didn't even use the Empress at the end of that round. Picks up a triple. But what I was talking about that macro, really, really good spatial awareness from the Forest Hills squad. They put this op pressure so many rounds through mid. And then it's just like, okay, Bane, I don't want to walk through mid. I'm going to get opted and taken out first. But then Forest Hills, they recognize now we can take that space. Play aggressive. And these flanks over and over from Bacon Lover have been awesome. Forest Hills will win the half 8-4. Now they get to switch up and show us what they got on the attacking side.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see more aggressiveness from mid against Forest Hills through mid there. I think that if Greater Altoona would have just smoked top where the op often sits, and then they blast and pressure up mid very, very quickly, whether they go into market or toward the op, they could really help nullify some of that space and get some value. But unfortunately, they just allowed Skip to kind of have a field day out there at the moment. Sides have been swapped. Greater Altoona now looks to hold things down, and we'll see if maybe they can start with a pistol round win here. It could be crucial for them to getting things back on track.
Definitely could be. I will be interested to see, though, like we said, with the Killjoy, with the Cypher, usually agents that you think of better suited on the defensive side. So how they get into these sites will be an interesting question. Is it just a arena flash? Is it going to be some of the smokes that you have? Or is it just going to be putting in the pressure, winning those 1v1 duels? It would feel really good to take this pistol round especially. However, neither team really making that first point of contact. Forest Hills playing this very slow.
Yeah, I like this. You don't typically see it a lot, and I feel like teams that on the attacking side can play with a lot of patience at time can kind of force out a mistake from that defending team. And we see Kratzer and crew all looking around, trying to figure out where it's going to go. Now with this utility coming in, they'll have an idea. The quick rotation coming in. Claw able to find the first one here. Gus firing through the smoke. No real damage being done just yet. Bane will step out, find one. Skip, strike. Both get a trade here. Kratzy with the frenzy, looking to go on a frenzy. Finding strike. Find that equalizer. Still down a player here is Forest Hills, but the spike has been planted. Skip tucked into a good position, taps the head of one. Now a secondary in corridor, wraps it up, but Skip was the huge playmaker here on the pistol round.
Skip has been absolutely insane on this map, absolutely hitting all their shots, and that round decided by that hold. Beautiful 3K, but I love the plant and love the, again, patience. Like you said, we don't often see that. They got the plant in a really good spot. Kardar able to finish up that round with a kill of their own. Skip is already halfway to the Empress, and that is such a huge round. Forest Hills could get on double digits if they win this one here.
Yeah, you know, we talked about Franklin Regional looking for that second spot or fighting Forest Hills. With a win this big against Greater Altoona, Forest Hills very well could steal the #1 seed away from the GOATs themselves.
The battle for #1. Both of these two teams want it more than anything, and we will be seeing both of them in the playoffs. But where they go is the real question. Kratzer got the shorty. Doesn't hit it though. Skip hits the headshot, and Robotics is there to back him up. This teamwork we've talked about so many times is able to find these picks. Clauser at least able to get something back on the Classic, but it's not enough here in this eco round. The bonus for Forest Hills, they are putting the pressure in as the spike goes down.
Yeah, now on a 4v2, just doing a great job of capitalizing here. Skip, strike onto the Bulldog as well as they continue to bonus into the next round. And Forest Hills now in the driver's seat, looking to knock off the undefeated GOATs here, the previous champions, and who are also undefeated in that season as well. But again, you know, if you're Greater Altoona, you just got to shrug it off. You got to keep going forward. You know you played very, very well. You're guaranteed a playoff position. And with those playoffs being best of 3, that's where more of that consistency is going to come into play. You know, we saw it with that recent Masters in Madrid, how much of a best of 5 can change things, even with a team who has been dominating the scene. So 10-4, a little bit more to close it out. Forest Hills has to continue to play strong for the rest of the game.
I'm going to be excited for those best of 3s, as you mentioned. Going to be a lot of fun Valorant action for sure. However, right now the action going over towards the B site. 3 players kind of hovering around here from the GOAT's defensive side. They've got some tripwires nicely placed, but this is the bonus round again for Forest Hills. Bane catching out Junkier, one through the wall, the other just straight up. Gus has got a headshot to follow things up. This is what you want to see with this kind of retake nature. You let them go in fast, and then you just burn them down. Vayne has got themselves a triple, and should be a nice cleanup here on just the bonus, but maybe Strike Force wants to prove us wrong.
I love the way Strike Force is playing today. Absolutely love it. And with this Bulldog putting in work, really, really great situational awareness, finding good sprays to the smoke, finding great crosshair placement. And I got to say, I just absolutely love the way Strike is playing today. Still in a tough position, a 4v1, looks to get one more, but Claw will cut him down. 10-5 as Greater Altoona will cut the lead in half.
Half the lead there for them. We'll have to see how it goes, though. Like we said, that was kind of the bonus round for Forest Hills, that now they'll actually be able to invest. I was a little bit scared there because Gus did invest into the Odin, and when you invest into such a costly weapon, he only was able to buy those light shields. If you didn't get value, that could have crushed your economy for a couple of rounds. But Forest Hills back on the attacking side. Empress already built up for Skip, and they're looking to A.
Hey, in that previous series, we saw Bishop go on an 8-round run, followed by Franklin's 7. So that is the way Valorant goes. Greater Altoona certainly can battle their way back into this game. It starts 1 round at a time. They have to continue to play smart, but this early rotation away from the B site, how bad is it going to affect them? Still some good noise here at mid. We see them locking down that space at A as well. So we're going to have to wait and see how things unfold here, but the pressure happening toward B.
This is beautiful. They use one of the Reyna blinds to just get a site for absolutely free. It means they're going to have so much utility to battle in this retake. And you also see Strikeforce just chilling in mid, a really good spot in case they decide to push out this way. Market is not going to be an entryway, and Strikeforce can have for free. He's got the patience, he's got the first, and he looks for the second. Bane cuts him down, makes it a 3v3, but the time is already running a little bit low. Bane needs to get through Market yesterday.
Yeah, and Strikeforce was able to get Crasher there as well, which is a huge pick. Bane, ping, finding another. Bacon Lover does get one on the trade, but just like that, they begin to turn things around, and Bane with that Odin 2 rounds in a row, I think is feeling a little spicy. I think Bane is a little upset with some of those deaths in the first half, breaking out the Odin, ready to show him. Certainly doing a great job as they look to trudge their way back to the trenches now, down by 4 rounds.
Back-to-back rounds. Well, wasn't able to take the pistol round, but able to take back-to-back ones after that. So nice stuff from Bane. Like we said, being able to step up against Skip on both being the Reyna is a huge thing to see. I really love how they're just willing to retake. They're able to give up the space. They're saying push into us, and then we have the utility to try and fight back. It does get a little bit scary though. I mean, right there at the end, if Bacon Lover is able to pick up another pick or two, that round could be going different and this series could be over. But we're headed back towards mid, it looks like, for the Forest Hills offensive side.
Oh, and there is the Odin, but Bacon Lover, who has just been phenomenal on the breach here as well today. The utility has been absolutely on point. Has blinds for days, will permanently damage the retinas if you're staying in front of them. But with that Marshall taking out the Odin, just another big play. Able to upgrade the weapon. We'll check the spawn, looking for those lurkers, but a lot of space being given and a lot of space being taken here by Forest Hills.
We'll see if they can take any more of that space. It's not going to be the Marshall connecting this time, as both players winning their gun duels, and talk about a third, just trapping the players of Forest Hills in the defender side spawn. So it's all down to Strikeforce, who is going to be revealed because of that neural theft. Great triple from Ping, and again, players that need to step up for this Greater Altoona side are all of them. Like we said, if you can play well rounded, if you can rely on your teammates, almost everyone won their gun duels there except that first iteration of contact through mid. So that's what you love to see, it, and not biting, not going too far in, just playing their positions and trusting their teammates.
Yeah, I mean, Forest Hills did a great job getting mid control there as well, but then we saw them all 4 die around that CT, around the CT spawn. They never really chose a direction to go, whether it be A or B, so maybe just caught lingering around a bit too long in that spawn, but I like the control that they were able to take. Ping Gussie for that intel as well, the blind coming in, and now everybody deciding, hey, what do we do? I think they might know we're here, but I'm not sure if that blind hit the smoke or something, but I didn't hear the normal pop or the ping that you hear when you get that audio cue.
I don't think they got the information, but Ping, see how it goes, seeing one, seeing everybody, but it's Bacon Lover with their teammates walk together. They're able to take him down. Kratzer, though, hits a headshot. It's going to be neural theft. Information, so much of it here. Forest Hills attacking side, but what do they do with it? Because Kratzer is here. Boom Buddy going to be popped out as well. The Cage going to assist in Cardor's route onto the site. They'll get the spike down, but this is still a 4v4 with Empress up.
Yeah, Empress is up. Oh, and the showstopper comes raining down from above. Bacon, though, on that Odin has been putting in work. Skip will find another on the Claw, who has the ult strike, making their way onto site. Finds Gus as well. Has the intel needed to know that they're tucked into the back of the site here. Shots going out both directions. And Strike and Bane both find big picks. The ult comes in, and Strike will capitalize once more now. 1 away from match point.
They're so close. They can taste that #1 seed. They want to take down the unkillable goats. I'll have to see, though. They have to win a couple more rounds, like you mentioned. It's going to be buy all day. Both teams still healthy enough on the economy. And I love the save of the ultimate. Strikeforce waiting to see if they need that ultimate, putting themselves in a great situation. You got to assume, Hot Sauce, that the Seeker and the Empress have to be popped here soon. Greater Altoona cannot lose this economy.
Yeah, and then they don't really have very many more rounds to give. Really only 1 to be, in fact. So I would expect to see them come out here really soon. Of course, you can always work off of the entry from those squids as well. And you know, maybe we see Forest Hills just slowing it down again, playing default, looking to keep the team guessing. However, this time A lot of space being taken over on that A site by Kratzer and crew. So with that, they'll have the intel they need. We see Reyna already rotating around toward that B site as well.
Good rotations. It's 3 sitting here on the B site and 2 that actually are going for this kind of flank angle, picking up some space towards mid. It gives them so much knowledge here. Nice little blind. Doesn't look like it finds its target, but it is Cardor who has to watch for this flank. Very, very patient from the Forest Hill squad. They don't want to give up any early picks, and might just have the first little bit of contact here. Both are waiting with this crossfire. They're daring one of the goats to just step too far forward. Robotics Master checking with the shoulder. We'll see a little bit of the shoulder of their opponent. 35 left to go, and still 5 as Gus takes one down.
Yeah, I like this patience from Sky here as well. It makes it so they can't rotate around. We see Strike and Bane finding the pick. Strike will finally pop the ult. Gus able to find the trade out back now in a 4v2. A strong round, what looked like for Forest Hills, has been shut down nearly immediately. Cardor, though, able to find the headshot onto Bane. Look to bring things back. It takes 4 seconds to get that spike down. Just 10 on the clock as they look to drop the smokes, and Caterpillar on the site. The sprays come through, and Ping Gussie will wrap it up. But going back to the beginning of that round, Sky just sitting there holding mid, because if Sky pushes too far forward, they find that pick, then they can rotate off. But they know, because they pushed so far out of A, that they are all locked into that B site. So by holding patient there, it really kind of forced Forest Hills into that B push. Greater Altoona able to capitalize, and I love this back and forth.
So much good back and forth. The patience, gotta say, from Greater Altoona as well, to not push forward, not get caught out. They're doing exactly what Forest Hills was doing to them. On this Sunset map, you can make so many quick rotations and get access to that back line. If you don't see them on A, it's okay to push a little bit further forward. We are in, though, to round number 20. A little bit of pressure from mid-top once again. Skip is only going to have that Sheriff, as again, this is the economical round for them, taking the early damage, and Skip actually through the wall falls towards their counterpart. Bane getting a little bit of a karma for that previous half, but it does leave the Forest Hill squad without one of those big kind of flashes to get into the site.
And now Forest Hills looking to back off and potentially go the other direction. Ping once more, tucked into a good position as well. The Squids will come out, and this will give him that extra intel that they're looking for as well. Ping on the swing, but KJ able to back off to safety here as well, working back toward mid. But Cardor from behind with the stinger, able to find Ping, and that's going to be a big pick here for Forest Hills. Kratzer, though, lurking at mid, finds Robotics as well.
This is dangerous. Kratzer was blinded there, but able to pick up the headshot on Strike Force. They're putting so much pressure to try and take Kratzer down, and Kratzer will not fall. Cardor might have a weapon, but is going to get ADS'd on. Bane picks up their own double to start out and end out the round, and man, Hot Sauce getting closer and closer and closer. It's what you expect from a more defended-sided map, but Greater Altoona now 2 away from equalizing out this game. However, they're going to have to fight the rifles of Forest Hills this time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Forest Hills got 8 rounds in a row. I think after the 6th round, they ended up taking 8 in a row. So really wanting to close it out, but Greater Altoona has found an answer. They have found a way back into the game. And, you know, with the economy the way it is, if they win this round, they very well could find themselves tying things up. The blind comes in. Kratzer able to find that first initial pick, give him the player advantage as well. And now stalling out that push toward the A site. We can see the rest of the crew kind of falling around Skip, looking for that leadership in Skip as he begins to work back toward the B site.
I'll be interested to see if they actually can get a hold of this B site, because like we said, a lot of players hovering towards A, but Forest Hills has, again, had some really good patience throughout this match. If Skip can make some noise, it could possibly give them access to A, but they have options. They have time is the more important thing. They got 60 seconds, and you look at those ultimates, 2 of those big ones, the Neural Theft for the information and the Lockdown to fully clear those defending players out of a site. You can use that after a post plant to give yourself so much time, but it looks like those footsteps going over towards B.
Yeah, unfortunately, they need to find a pick if they want to utilize that Neuro Theft, and now all of that action going toward B. There has been a bit of a rotation. here from
30
Greater
seconds
Altoona,
left.
but maybe second guessing themselves as they begin to run back toward A. So Reyna alone here with a quick push. It could favor Forest Hills. Unfortunately, the dog coming out does spot one, and that could keep Greater Altoona kind of locked in toward the A site. Though here the plethora of utility over at B, but Bane able to find the first pick. Skip has been concussed, making their way on the site, but Strike, another big pick from Strike. Kratzer will finally trade him back here in this 4v2.
There's going to be one player detained from that lockdown, but like you mentioned, Bane going absolutely massive here. The swing is there from Skip, and the healing won't be blown up by the showstopper. Now Cardor, the ping not 100% on point, and the defuse just going to go on through. Pros do not fake. Even though Cardor is going to pick up a double, it doesn't matter. For Greater Altoona, they are on double digits. Will pull out the knives right at the end and leave two alive. And man, Hot Sauce, we keep saying it, but this match has given us so many good moments.
Yeah, and you know, this is what make great teams great as well. I mean, Forest Hills has come out and really put it to Greater Altoona. Greater Altoona, you know, started off all right, but really struggled throughout the majority of that mid-game area, even starting into the first 2 rounds of the second half. So for the GOATs to be able to battle back like this is what greatness truly is. Both of these teams have a plethora of talent, and certainly very talented, but man, it's just fun when you get to see two teams like this clash head to head.
It really is. And I mean, they've proven it to us over the regular season that they deserve these rankings. #1 and #2 overall for a reason. Of course, both teams, I believe, get 1 timeout to use. So for Skip, this is their timeout. Talking it over with only a few rounds left to go. Make a plan here. You're still up around. You've got some funds to work with here, but you don't want to give Greater Altoona a sort of streak to keep walking off of. And I feel like if it's anybody you need to cut down the confidence of, it's Bane. That man has been having a seriously good half year on the defensive side.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Bane with a bit of a rough start in that first half, but in the Odin he trusts, and it's certainly been working here. 21, 18, and 9 assists. Kratzer, who was stuck at 13 kills just a few rounds ago, has made their way back to the top of the leaderboard here. And again, a big split, some default positioning right now. Everybody lingering outside that A site, and we've seen a lot of early patience here from Forest Hills, which I do enjoy, but I would like to see him maybe throw in a quick round or fake a quick push somewhere with you know, the other 3 members lurking on the other site. So I would like to see just a little bit more change in pace from Forest Hills as we look to close out this game. At Greater Altoona 1 away, tying it up.
They're close. They feel it on the horizon. This could be your #1 seed guaranteed. Heading into playoffs, the easiest route to try and get to those grand finals on May 19th in person. We talk about a squad that has a 58 positive round differential. Most of these series throughout the season, they have not faced this pressure, but now the pressure is on their back. It's going to be some locations revealed, but 40 seconds left to go. Forest Hills played this really slow, but now they go quick.
Yeah, trying to change up that ebb and flow that we talked about. Good utility coming in. Ping has been concussed. Skip through elbow, has to step in. The smoke though, and Ping waiting there for Corridor. Finds the pick. The spike will go down. Sprays coming back and forth. Skip, Robotics, both finding huge picks. His Claw finds a trade of their own. Strike will find Gus and potentially get the plant, but Kratzer on the op. Claw finds another one. 12 seconds remaining. The spike is down. Oh, the op shot doesn't come in. Swaps to the Sheriff, but Claw somehow finds the trade. Great teamwork, and just like that, after a long run, we again are all tied up 11-11. Forest Hills needs at least 1 more to secure overtime, but Greater Altoona has the momentum in their favor at the moment. We'll see if they can continue to push forward.
They got so much momentum, man. 6 rounds out of the 9. They have won here on this defensive side, as to be expected, like we said, on a 2-site map. But this next round could be the decider for Forest Hills. The economy's not great, but they need to save some funds for a possible 12-11 final round. We'll see what Greater Altoona can do. Looks like they're just going to play it slow. They also have the Clove ultimate. Clawzera could be huge in taking this round if they won it. At the same time, the Neural Theft wasn't able to be used in that last round because Carter was the first to fall down. We'll see if they can save that ultimate for a good push here as they walk up mid.
A lot of patience here once more, but that mid space has been given. I think Skip potentially
Bane.
heard Bane running as well. We see the ping coming in, the step, the spray, and Bane finding Skip is absolutely huge. He's been the juggernaut, the raid boss. Cardor does find the trade of Bane, who has been a staple here thus far throughout this series, more specifically the second half. But again, this push stalling out here at mid around spawn. It didn't work out for them last time. They need to get things in motion. Running into Claw and Gusto is dangerous. And a huge set of kills as they line up. Gus will slap it off with a triple. And just like that, Greater Altoona back on top and now sitting at match point.
Away. That is all they need. One round to close things out. And we talked about those economical issues from Forest Hills. They only got one kill in that round. It's going to mean that Greater Altoona, they're set. They're ready to go. The Empress was shut down right at the start of the last round, and it is not going to be the best spy that Forest Hills has ever seen, but it is one they need to make work. We'll see if they can play it fast. They've got the Clove ultimate here from Strike Force, but only has a ghost. This could be it, Hot Sauce. It's either overtime or it's game over.
Yeah, they took a little bit of a gamble buying those scrappy weapons there in the previous round, which really hurt the economy here for that final round. And I think, you know, that Greater Altoona is aware of that. Most of us are holding tab, checking those monetary values in between those rounds, I'm sure, as they are. So again, playing smart, playing very patient here, looking for a little bit of that intel as we do see the smokes come down on A site. They have lingered up toward elbow, but Kratzer with the op says, I can't be stopped. Will miss a big shot on the Skip, though. Skip able to dodge a bullet, save the life here as they continue to press through elbow. But again, that push just being stalled out here. And after losing a member, trying to decide what they should do next.
I want to bat onto the operator, but it means they might have to walk all the way back through spawn. 45 seconds to make a decision on this map. Claw, Zera, baby.
My.
Overheal is there. How about a second? Headshot is there. Almost a third, but has the ultimate on deck in case they want to get it here a little bit later. 2 out of 7. Like we said for Strike Force, that's the ultimate that they need. Looking through, Cardor, that's huge, but 20 seconds left to go. They need to get a plant down. Strike Force is revived, but they have to go into the operator. Kratzer could put him down right here. The spike is left. Strike Force.
10 seconds left.
It's too late. There's no time. They're going for this 2v1, but it's smartly played by the Greater Altoona side, and Strike Force will fall. Anyways, patience and teamwork for the GOATs as they stay undefeated.
Ooh, they have to be sighing a big sigh of relief at the moment after being down and down by big. We saw 8 rounds in a row from Forest Hills, 6 to close out the first half, 2 to open the next. Skip 30 kills. 7 first bloods. Certainly, you know, the man of the hour, the MVP. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. The GOATs showing you why they are the GOATs. They haven't really battled much adversity. They haven't had a lot of difficulty throughout the regular season. They were absolutely put to the test today, and they showed that they came to play. They just barely squeezed this one out to remain undefeated yet again throughout the regular season.
That's an exciting one, and it is one that we could possibly see once again going into the grand final. As I mean, we talk about this is the end of week number 9. We don't have Rocket League tomorrow, just as a heads up. We do got some voting going on in Pennsylvania, but on Wednesday we've got Overwatch, and on Thursday we've got Middle School Rocket League. Both of those finishing up their regular seasons just like we are here for Valorant. We're looking towards playoffs. We're looking towards those best of 3s, and you know what, Hot Sauce? I'm looking to that in-person finals on May 19th.
Me too, man. And this should just show you how good the playoffs is going to be. I mean, we saw Franklin Regional able to upset Bishop Guilfoyle today. Franklin Regional up until today was the only team that gave Forest Hills a loss. You know, so the mixture of skill here at that top tier. I mean, when we get into playoffs, it's going to be so good because it is a best of 3. So, you know, maybe there's a map that you're not as good at. We got to see them kind of select the maps that they like. So man, I am so excited for these playoffs. It's going to be another phenomenal postseason run here at TEC.
It's gonna be awesome. I mean, we've had some amazing games today. Sad we couldn't get that third one due towards a forfeit, but I'm really, really excited. Best of threes are really awesome, and we'll get to see so many amazing players putting the best on the line. But we do have to shout out our little bit of content that TEC has been working on. If you guys like top 5 plays, if maybe you missed a match during the week, well, don't worry. We've got some recaps for you. You can go check them out over on Twitter, YouTube. We play them in between the stream here on the Twitch. And that's another big reminder. Go follow the Twitch. Not only this one, but we run so many different streams every single day. You don't want to miss them.
Yeah, like you said, the Twitter, the YouTube, even I often watch the top 5 as I'm scrolling through Instagram. So over there on Instagram as well. But as Llama said, unfortunately, that is all for us today. No Rocket League tomorrow. So we'll see you back here at 2:45 for Overwatch on Wednesday. I do want to take a moment, though, to thank everybody behind the scenes here at TEC. Of course, Man Can't Man for always putting on and producing a killer show for us. And of course, all of you at home watching, the students, the teachers, the parents, the friends, we certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We hope you have a great day and voting tomorrow. We'll see you back here at Wednesday. Again, guys, reminder, 2:45 Eastern. Take care and have a wonderful evening.